Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another transfer show on Chelsea Perspective. First of all, I hope you're all doing well, and I wholeheartedly do mean that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Again, I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone, but more importantly, blue morning to you, because in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. As it is a tradition here, again, I say that every day. It's become a cliche, but it's important. I'm going to first of all look in the chat to see how people there are doing. And as you're coming in, please keep liking the video. Don't forget, that's the first thing you say. Say hello to the channel first by liking the video, and then say hello to those in the chat too. So let's get into it. Don't go anywhere. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another transfer show on Chelsea Perspective. Again, let's start by seeing how people in the chat are doing. Again, because that's the tradition here. We are like a family here, so first we have to find out how everyone is doing. That is very, very important to us. Liam Len, as usual, as almost every day, the first to show up. He says, Blue morning, Kachila panel and chat. Blue morning to you. I hope you're doing well. And this is my brother Tobago, the coolest chess. He says, Blue morning. And by the way, the coolest chess is also another YouTube channel that I advise you to go check out. It's new, but it's growing really fast, and it's some great content there for you to watch. Blue morning, good morning. I'm looking forward to today's show. Also, people, hit the like button, bring on the fight. I know you always like to comment to fight me. And if you're watching, also let me know if you're hearing everything I'm saying. It's important so I don't, go on for a while and then only to find out that you can't hear me. And second, to hit the like button. Congratulations, Phantom of Many Topics. You made it to the Champions League. Again, another good YouTube channel, and I advise you to go check. I say hi, the coolest, okay, saying hello to each other. Again, let me see if there's anything else to address here. A blue morning to you all. Gabriel Almost Obas, my Niger brother. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. Again, I'm going to not read anything transfer now. Maybe I'll highlight it and read it later, but let me just try for today. Again, whenever we're starting, just say hello to each other. That's fine. Fofana and Skriniar, the ones I prefer. I know that experience is so probably going to be a Fofana and Kimpembe. We'll see. I have an update for you for Kimpembe. At this point, Barca should activate their fourth lever. I mean, who knows how many levers they have, if you want to be sarcastic about it. And I think you're a Chelsea fan, so you're just being sarcastic there. But that's fine. Barca are gonna get away with registering their new players because it's not about corruption. Again, let's just sound like conspiracy theories, because there are things that are going on. If there's anything, it hasn't gone to the level where you see where you can say they're corrupt. Here's the thing: they have some. I don't know why I forgot to get the video again. Maybe once Josh Viola comes in, she will share the video. When you watch the video, you educate yourself on why it is not easy for La Liga teams to get into trouble. There's a structure in place to protect them. Unlike the Premier League, it has to get to some, considerable measure before it becomes a mistake. That's why you're seeing it's not easy for them to register the players. There are things that is, like I said, let Josh Viola, if she has the time to join us today, I will try to get her to share the video, or I'll find the link myself. I don't think it's anything about corruption at this point. Relax again. Again, I think the person you're referring to, Gabriel, is a Chelsea fan too. We don't care anyway. At least we can go and get all the options. Not getting Kounde, not the end of the world. Probably there's a chance that may well be a blessing in disguise. You don't know. Still not sure on Fofana. I watched a lot of Leicester City last season, and the back line was very poor, especially on the set piece corners. Again, Liam, if you remember, they say a tree can never make a forest, and I'd argue that for Fofana. I think he's a good player if you watch him closely. Just from an individual perspective, maybe collectively they were poor. I think they lack leadership in that defensive line since they lost the Jamaican international. I think they lack leadership in that defensive line. That may well have been the issue the whole season. Tell me, at which club does corruption exist? Is there? Is everywhere. Yeah, everywhere in football. So, but Barca's case this time, it's not corruption. I'd argue that anytime, any day. Although I don't have evidence to show that, but like I said, there's something you need to learn about La Liga. They have a structure in place that makes it difficult for the teams there to break the rules. But that's by the way, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom so that we can start the show. About Barca debt, mate, you're talking if you're losing sleep at night because of players not being paid. They will be paid. They have to. Again, that's just the truth. Yes, he was, but I saw him in a few games. So that's why I'm not sure. Sure it was the injury holding him back. I think the injury also is an issue. Whatever a player, gets sidelined by injury for a long time, and if it's a serious injury, usually there's always the question if they're going to come back the same, or maybe if that leads to downwards spiral in form or something like that, because it has happened on occasion. Some people do get through it and then come back even better. Remember the Chilwell talk, Liam Lane. Yep, that's the truth. Again, let's see if you can stay afloat in the next 3 years. I'm not going to go into the Barca the discussion. I start with the young. Pay the man his wages. How will he ever survive? Again, that's a good argument. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, except if I see anybody that I haven't said hello to. Hello to PJ. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you here again. This Stephen Messi Apebo. Hello to you too. How are you doing, Daniel Silva? Again, I hope you're doing it well. And to everybody else in the chat, here we have good morning, Blues. Eric Boban, good morning to you, Eric. I hope you're doing well. Says, hey, Jafta Sikwa, my brother. Hello, Kachila. Hello to you too. I hope you're doing well. Chelsea all the way. Fofana Koulibaly. Again, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. And hello to you. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. And the last one I have here is from Abhinav. He says, how is Barcelona able to sign Lewandowski, Rafinha, Frank, Kessie, Christensen, Kounde, Chelsea, and TT has no pool? Again, let's talk. It's about the club itself. Barcelona has a rich history. Yes, there's no question. Some people, you'd see some people who'd be willing to take a pay cut just to have it on their CV that they played for Barcelona. It's as simple as that. They have a very, very rich history. And so I'm not surprised that those things are really happening. So again, and I'm not going to really disturb myself, worry myself about it. Again, and the most something that has happened more often, or that I've seen more often, is people, the misconception that Barca are broke. No, they're not broke. They're in debt. There's a difference between being in debt and also being broke. And they're able actually to sell their assets to raise money to be able to facilitate their transfer activities. We must pay attention to that. Sheila, the club, yes, but the project that the managers sell to players make them come over. Again, those things make a huge difference. And you could argue even before we started, trying to sign Lewandowski. Yeah, even before we tried to sign Jules Kounde, Barca had already signed a few players, and their team is looking much more, looking stronger than Chelsea Football Club's own team. Because if you look at them as a player, you say, okay, I have a better chance of winning the Champions League, of winning more trophies than the Barcelona team at this point. Again, those things do come into considerations. Yes, some players will consider money first. I'm not sure if that was the case with Jules Kounde, because if he ended up going to Barcelona, he'd be earning much more less than what we offered him. Again, but that's, by the way, again, if you're watching, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Good morning, guys. We need to sign another defensive player. We know that already. Please understand, Barca has, aid on 150 million for all these players. Casey and Christensen are free spending. Yep, you must also consider that. Again, and it says one thing again, you must consider those things again. It says let's just get Fofana. He's a great man. Is he a great footballer? If you say a great man, you're talking about a different thing altogether. So the question is yeah, he's a great man, but is he a great footballer? I think he's a good footballer. My concern is that he's just returned from a serious injury, and the price tag, given that his contract doesn't expire until 2027, so there's still quite a long way to go on that aspect. Does TT know what he wants? I'm a bit confused. Refuse a CR7. Again, if you're talking about what he wants and you're still complaining that he refused CR7, then you don't really want to give him what he wants. And we're not sure about the CR7 story. We hear Todd Boehly saying he's never going to sign a player that TT doesn't want. And then we hear that TT himself said he doesn't want Cristiano Ronaldo. So if we're into backing the manager, we shouldn't be talking about the player he doesn't want. It's as simple as that. We need to act quickly. I think we've been acting. Maybe we're not acting quick enough, or you could argue maybe there are other factors working against us. We have signed 2 players in the span of almost 2 months, 11 days to go to the Premier League, but the transfer window itself is still open. And you must know this is not the first time that we'll be going into the season without bringing in all our transfer targets. Let's be honest there. Sometimes you would be going still like into 6-5 games into the season. We still don't have them all. The transfer window doesn't close until September. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's just because we're desperate, because we've lost you could say 2 of our best defenders, and we'll be losing 2 more. Again, that's why we're desperate, especially from the fan base and the manager. Everybody, we're all frustrated for that. But I think by the time the transfer window shuts, you could argue, I'll be telling you this, we'll have a good transfer window, but how soon will the players join us? That's the only concern I have. We don't need Fofana, please. Again, if the manager needs him, we shouldn't even argue against that, because we've always called for the club to back the manager. And if that's what they're doing now, we shouldn't question that. And here's my brother, Jose CFC, my fellow American. He says, big up, brother. Big up to you too. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Fofana will be a good signing. Again, no matter how long we discuss the player on the show here, the most important thing is the player the manager wants. Excuse me. Smash that like button, says Jose. Please keep doing that. I request the fans to be open-minded. Barca have every right to strengthen their team. It's as simple as that. Like Coachella said, a club with rich history that has not been performing well for the past 3 years. They have issues. Again, there's a difference between being in debt and also being broke. And the case isn't that they're not broke. I'd break the bank for Fofana. No, I wouldn't. And most especially him coming back from a serious injury. 60 million for Fofana, I think around that number, but we don't know. Usually the numbers quoted not usually the end, the purchase price. We will negotiate, probably get him for cheap, so to speak. But the question is, are we really looking at him? There's no way to tell anything we're seeing out there. It's the truth. Some reports coming in, we might replace Werner with Zaha. I take Zaha over Werner. Zaha is much more technically gifted. And I think in a team like Chelsea Football Club, I think Zaha would do even better than he's done at Crystal Palace. I think he's a big player. He has the confidence. He has the ability. He is good on the ball. So I think Zaha over Werner anytime, any day. If we're looking at him, I think it will be a good signing, one that we'll actually get for cheap. And he'd be willing to join us because he's always looked to join a bigger club to win trophies. And you can say, how old is Zaha right now? Zaha should be at his prime. And let me see if I can get up his statistics quickly. I think, like I said, I'd take Zaha anytime, any day over over Timo Werner because not because Timo is a bad player, but Zaha, he's done better than Timo in the Premier League and has proven he can do it consistently. Actually, again, I think his frustration, may just be that he hasn't gotten that big move. He's always, thought he'd get to a bigger club. Let's look at his statistics, and I think I'm correct. I'd take Zaha anytime, any day over Timo Werner. And by the way, Zaha, what is his age right now? He's 29. Again, he's at his prime, and at this age, he's garnered all the experience we need. And I think he's a player I would want to see at Chelsea Football Club. And look at his numbers. For 2021-2022 season, he's scored 14 goals. I could care less that much about the assist, but he gets some goals. And for the previous season, he got 11 goals, 2 assists. I think his numbers have not been bad, although it's fluctuated a bit. But you could say I'd take him over Timo Werner. And I have my brother, here, Tobago, in the house. Tobago, quickly, I want to bring you in immediately, but let me quickly catch up with chat before I come back to you. Here we have Oni Abiodun says, my Niger brother said, I prefer Vadio signing to Dumfries. They both play in different sides of the pitch again. They both play in different positions again. But we'll see what happens. Blew up everyone. That's another one. I haven't heard anybody say blew up before, but I hope you're doing well, Chelsea. The King Slayer, nice to see you. Werner can go, please, and Ziyech too. Again, if any player doesn't want to stay, let them leave. Before we say, Yalu said, please, is there good news? No, I think just stay tuned. And again, if we see any new development, we will update you. The De Jong would leave Barcelona for Chelsea. What we're waiting for? I think it's a chess. It's more like a chess game right now. We don't want to give them the money to use to pay for what's his name? Jules Kounde. I'm not sure that's the case, but that's my theory. Why did Zaha struggle at United? He was still very young then and wasn't given enough time. It wasn't like his struggle. So if you want to argue that Alonso Maxima will be great Timo replacement, I think I'd take him over Timo because at least he can dribble. Yes, but my argument is that in most cases he dribbles himself, and that hasn't changed. Zaha is left-footed operator, prepare for a lot on the side with Pulisic. I think he can also operate on the right. I think he can operate on the right, but we'll see what happens. Zaha got his big move to United, failed big time, but he was a lot younger then. Yeah, that was my argument. Again, a strange. Why not go for Tillsman? He's a player I don't think will work for. His numbers aren't that big, so he's not an improvement to what we have already. The Mirror also reports Kimpembe prefers saying, yep, again, that's an update I wanted us to talk about. 70 million for Fofana. That's a lot of money. I cannot trust any English reporters except Austin. All are on a fraud. Again, you could argue that. Tobago, I want to bring you in. Tell me how you're feeling so far in this transfer window. Again, are you impatient yet, or are you still patient? You still believe by the time the transfer window shuts, we'll do a good, have some players in?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Chris, you're very loud.
Okay. First of all, to be honest, I'm not in a panic mode until the transfer closes. So I'm still good. And also, like you said, you wanted us to talk about something, and then I wanted to address it very quick. Like those reports saying Kimpembe prefer to stay to PSG, and like a lot of fans saying he rejects Chelsea over PSG. Like, what is wrong with a player deciding to stay at his current club? Is it a sin? Is it a problem?
No, it's not saying it's not saying in any way. And again, if people have been paying attention, we've been saying this for the past few days. I think maybe I alone. I don't remember anybody else on the panel talking about it. Kimpembe, he's always been torn between remaining at PSG and also joining Chelsea Football Club. But it doesn't look like we're paying attention to that. But how this whole thing is confusing, I don't blame the fan base because we're seeing the report already. I did not look beyond that report that he's torn between staying at PSG and also and coming to Chelsea Football Club. I didn't look beyond that. I always, look back at that and say that may well be the case because it's taking too long. If we have been talking to PSG from the time we started seeing the report that Chelsea are looking at Kimpembe, the deal should have been done by now. So now it's coming out that he's decided to stay at PSG. I'm not surprised, Again, but the point I wanted to make is this: the fans behaving the way they are, it's because they're feeding off of what they see out there in the media, which is why I've always advised people, don't just suck up all those things. Whenever you just put everything, group them together, label them as rumors or speculations, you'd live a longer life. Don't just suck them all up. You have to process information. Don't just suck it up immediately the way you see it. Dissect, look at it, see whether it makes sense or not. In most cases, and like we've talked about here, don't believe whatever you read until you see the player holding the shirt and the club puts out a statement. Then we've already signed the player. So I don't blame them because not everybody takes the time to look beyond the surface of what of what they're reading. So, but that's, by the way, again, if you're coming in, keep liking the video. Thank you already for 30 likes. I do appreciate that. Again, that goes a long way for the channel. Says Kuchila, this Kounde saga is a mistake. Our club told English reporters about the fee structure of the bid. When it became public, Barca came into play. Our mistake. No, I don't think so. I think Barca knew more than again about the deal. Actually, we don't know the details. What we were told is just how long the duration of the contract of the player and how much we were going to pay. We were going to pay Sevilla, which is something Barca would know. But I think Barca also, they have more information, detailed information that I think they should know. They shouldn't know, so to speak. But that's why I really don't want to talk about that again. Shouldn't we give Broya a try? I think we're doing that already. The manager has said he wants to keep him. We're not willing, to sell him, which is why West Ham now, they've signed Scamacca, which is a fine player that I'm surprised we didn't even look at. But that's, by the way, I think this guy has Premier League experience and is quite physical. He can only improve, I think. And we can get a striker in general. I don't think we'd even get a striker. If we give him a chance, I think he'd take it. Just give him a real chance. Don't just, don't just judge him by giving him 20 minutes, 15 minutes here and there. Again, I don't think that would be enough. Give him enough time, and he will prove that he's capable of doing it. Again, says I prefer Ronaldo to Chelsea. Does the manager want him? I don't know. There are conflicting reports out there. The manager wants him. The manager doesn't want him. The owner, Todd Boehly, wants him. So I don't know what to believe. Good morning, guys. Good morning. I got more. Nice to see you. Again, Chelsea is going to be a fine. I believe that, and thank you for kindly saying that. I'd say that's the first delicious comment of the day. So with that, I want to say, if you're watching, please take a second to like the video. We have 84 people watching, so we should have at least 70 likes. If you haven't, take a second to like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to come back to the panel and I want to get your thoughts, Declan, your thoughts on what we're hearing about Kimpembe. Did you at any time suspect that will happen? If you ask me, I'd say yes, I suspect that will happen because it's been taking too long. All we're here talking with, but now he's made the decision to stay at PSG. I'm not surprised at all. So go ahead. First of all, how are you doing? Apologies.
I'm good. I hope you guys are doing well as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My attitude. So my view on every news every day is that we're linked to Kimpembe before. Now it's the merry-go-round, and now who's the guy today? Today it's Kimpembe. Tomorrow it's going to be and now back to Dumfries as well. Dumfries talks again. I think it's very recycled. I think I think that it's hard to know. I think that we are in for a lot of players, and the media have linked us to so many players. There could be no weight on Kimpembe, or not, or maybe his agent was actually trying to, or no, PSG trying to sell him. We don't know the scenario. We know they have a new technical director. He's probably got different ideas, and they're probably trying to clean house. And if that's the case, why wouldn't they sell him? Maybe he doesn't want to leave, especially they got a pretty good team at the moment. So, and he's French, and his probably family is settled. So there's a lot of factors. If they're trying to push him out, he doesn't want to leave, or it could be completely made up.
There's a chance that's the case, but the sources, I think, reputable sources are saying, and if you remember, again, if you remember, again, we've heard before that he's torn between staying and leaving. It's not like they're pushing him out; they want him to stay. We've heard that before, so it's everywhere. It's difficult, but we have to always, pay attention, try to dissect information, but people don't do that. And like you said, it's recycled. It's always been there. I think it's because taking a front stage because when we again, and people don't even consider the fact that again they don't play in the same position. Some actually are saying, okay, since we've missed out on Kounde, now let's go for Kimpembe. Forgetting, first of all, they don't play in the same position. So the rumors don't just make sense. Like you said, it's just recycled. Tobago, you have something to say. Go ahead, brother.
No, all I'm saying, like, PSG already offered him a contract. And then they said they're willing to sell him if the right offer comes. And also, the deciding factor is on him. And then him staying, I don't think is an issue because, like, the reports are saying the new coach told him that you are in my plans. So should the guy leave if the coach saying you're in my plans? I don't think that is necessary for him. But again, we'll wait and see until the window closes because, like, we can say this today, tomorrow things change.
Here's why I believe that. Here's why I believe that he probably has decided to stay at the club because the Chelsea's interest in this kid right here, I think 21. How old is he actually? Or 20? What's his
21.
name again? Badiashile. How old?
21.
21. Badiashile didn't just emerge. So if Chelsea are looking at him, it means they probably sensed it that they're not going to be able to get Kimpembe. And this guy is left-footed too, and he's a fine player at this age. What he's been able to do at Monaco. I think he's a brilliant player. Declan, I don't know if you've heard the story about Badiashile.
No.
You don't know him. How about you?
Is he a countryman?
I know him.
It sounds like it, right?
Yeah, the way you said his name was almost like very authentic.
Maybe I'm just butchering his name without knowing how to pronounce it. Go ahead, Tobago, you wanted to say something.
Either or.
Yes, and I know this kid. He has 5 years playing in Monaco first team. And now he's still 21. A lot of love about him. Again, he's tall, advantage for us. Really.
6'4".
Yes. And again, he's so good on the ball. And also with interception, this guy can read any threat. Oh my gosh! But people I think maybe our fans are not watching most of the leagues. They're watching English Premier League, and then they're focusing on the Premier League only. They should just explore sometimes in order to know different players, so that when we are linked with them, you can say, yeah, no, I know this kid, but I don't know him. But again, Chelsea fans now are reaching out on the timeline, like saying, what do we need this kid? We'd rather go for Skriniar, blah blah blah. They're not playing the same position. Chelsea wants left centre back because they couldn't get Nathan Ake. So I think this kid is a good option for us.
Well, he's left-footed.
Yes.
He's left-footed, and again, I think when I checked the statistics, in some aspect actually, he's done better. He's done better than Kimpembe, and that's a younger version of him. Long time. How old is Kimpembe again?
26.
26, I think.
At 26. So I think we have. If we can get Badiashile, we have some experienced players. We still have balance. So it will not be a bad option to go for. But I'm hearing that Monaco, they're not willing to listen to any offers that's less than 40 million. Is it euros or something? But more importantly, the thing is this: the player is good. I think it's good. I declare that I think you need to research him and look at his statistics. Maybe again, I'm going to come back to this. Let me see what we talked about him, and there's some topics I also want us to talk about here. I think I have this opened in two places. Somebody may have deleted something I wanted us to look at. This is about a guy. Chelsea are interested in Benoit Badiashile. Monaco will not discuss for less than 42 million. Again, that shows you they understand how good of a player he is. There's a tweet I'm looking, something that talked about him. I can't find it. That talked about how the same kid we're looking at is the same kid that Sevilla are looking at as a replacement. They've already contacted Monaco actually as a replacement for what's his name, for Kounde. That shows you how good the kid is. But that's, by the way, the question I want to ask you is the fact that we're looking at him. I think that shows that I think we sensed it that we're not going to be able to get a Kimpembe. I want to get your thoughts on that because the rumors didn't just emerge and it's serious.
It doesn't quite mean that. It means that I'm not going to use the word desperate, but it means that we need a player and we're not going to. I mean, people think we work one by one, like we only have one person and we can only negotiate one deal at a time, which isn't the case. I think we're inquiring about a number of players, and I think Todd Boehly's almost someone called it like a scattergun approach. Not really. Maybe that makes sense, but I think I think we don't have time. So inquire about a whole bunch of players. If Kimpembe, do you work out? Do you want money? Yeah, no, it doesn't work out. Next, move on. And you're already talking to a whole bunch of different players.
No, yeah, so, I get your point. Yeah, I think you just explained something that it's important to understand. You don't go to them one by one. If you do that, you'd end up signing just two players by the time the window closes. Thank you for bringing that up. Go ahead, Declan.
Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically the case. It's not that we. It's not that.
Go ahead.
I think at the start of the window, you go for your first, second target. I think as the window went on, I think it was the fact that we wanna bring in a lot of players. I think we've talked to a whole bunch of number of players. At the same time, maybe that might have made a mistake. Clubs like Barcelona knew what we were doing because we were talking to everyone. Nothing was really hidden, so that gives a lot of weight.
Does it really matter if they know what we're doing? Does it really matter?
It can if they want to be in for him. So you know how even Chelsea's done it before. Yeah, so if a club does all this groundwork and then then it comes out that they did all this and the club agreed to this, then it's so easy to come in and hijack in last minute because you have all the information you need, right? And you know how to improve the deal, and you know what the barriers were. There is that too. So I think and I think Todd Boehly at the start tried to trade players too, which gave a lot away too. So I mean, the fact that if it's true that Werner is being used to wage Werner, Ziyech, their names have been mentioned, right? Then and then Tuchel comes out and says that players want to leave. Well, I think they just named the players that want to leave, and I think we're trying to get more players than we think we need. I think it's very possible that. I think it's no secret that SV wanted to go. Alonso as well. and now Ziyech and Werner. I think these four are waiting to leave. I think they might have deals lined up as well, and they're just waiting for players to come in. So when it comes,
because there's no way we will know everything they're talking about. But here's what I want to ask
and I
you,
think,
Declan.
and I think, and this is what I was going to mention. There could be more defenders on that we don't know about. Maybe you want to, that aren't too hurt. Like maybe Corwell isn't going to stay. Do you know what I mean? So maybe we need more defenders than we think, right? Maybe Kimpembe and the other player that you mentioned that I'm not aware about. It could be more than one. So there could be a number of factors, but regardless, the main point is that we don't work one by one. It's not a sense of if Kimpembe doesn't work out, we go for him. It could be whoever is easy to deal with, maybe. Maybe by this point,
it would, like you just explained, it wouldn't make sense. Go ahead, Tevago.
Yes, but again, I think Metlo posted a long list of centre backs that Chelsea want before the transfer market opened, and now like our fans are crying that who's this player, who's that player? They didn't check what our journalists, the one who like to post about Chelsea, what they were saying. Remember, a club one target, one defender, and then they say like is a main target. We need to have a long list or a list of options in order if you are going to fail on other players. At least you still have a backup plan. Which players you can get. For example, we wanted Delete, we couldn't get him, and then we went for Koulibaly. That's what a good counter press for us. And again, what I love about Monaco is a selling club. So if Chelsea really wants this kid, I don't think Monaco will be a team that will give us a problem.
Monaco is a selling club. I don't know if that has changed. So I'm going to try and catch up with the chat, and I'll come back with a question. The question I want to ask you this is, Declan, who furnishes the media with the plans of the club? Is this something that the club does intentionally? Did they gain anything from it? But I'm going to come back to you. Nair says, why in the blue money would Tottenham even want to talk to us about Harry Kane? Our reporters are really dumb, trying to bring up fake optimism with what has happened for the past 2 weeks. I think that's the case, and we analyzed that. We talked about it to analyze it, and we made people understand the possibility is nearly to zero. I don't think it will happen. Even the person that twisted it to Chelsea, are interested in Harry Kane, twisted the original report. The original report reads something like Harry Kane interests at Chelsea, which is a different thing altogether. But that's by the way. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat. Says Dan Parson says we have 4 players on the left already. Again, 26. I think somebody asked the age of somebody. Kimpembe. It says really another one. Again, maybe another one. True about Broya 6 goals, but rather see him instead of Batshuayi. That's the truth. I'd rather have him at the club, rather instead of Batshuayi. He's still young and probably able to adapt to that hybrid number 9 roller, which I think, to be fair to Batshuayi, I think he's able to participate in the play. He's better on the ball than most people. I don't want to call names again. Name here says, sorry, what's the name here? King Prince says we don't need the young period. We're not the manager. We're not the manager. The whole thing comes down to what the manager wants. And if he wants De Jong, there's nothing we can do about it. And again, we have 40 likes.
People really don't want De Jong?
Video. Sorry?
Do people really don't want De Jong?
I don't think we know what the manager wants. So it's somebody in the chat just saying.
No. I mean that person in the chat. He said we don't need. Of course, we're not going to. Of course, we don't have a say in what the manager wants. And I mean, personally, as a personal thing, do people not rate De Jong? I can understand we don't have to prioritize his midfielder, but De Jong's a really good player. He's a baller.
Here's the argument here. More importantly, I don't think most people know what he'd bring to us if he comes to us. All they know, they just know him as a Barcelona player. I think it's as simple as that. If I ask a question now, you see that majority would vote, and I think I'll do that since we're arguing that. But go ahead if you were adding to that.
Yeah, I think that I mean, if people don't know, it's very naive to make a judgment like that, to say we don't need him when he's such a good player, and almost, I mean, people want a system change. If you want a system change, this is a person that can bring your system change because he's that good. Because if Tuchel want to alter it, and this guy can make it work. This guy is also the person that can play like cover, right? And also deliver that killer ball that people want, that creativity that people have been screaming out for. And I think he's only 25, and I think he's still, to me, can improve as well. He's such a talent. Not even just a talent. He's such a really good player. And for people to say we don't need him, I mean, not only he will make our team better, right?
I think
we have two midfielders.
Is just purely out of lack of knowledge, or of his.
Well, that's basically
of his
probably
abilities.
it. Yeah, and I'm wondering how many more there are out there who think we don't. I can understand people making the comment. Maybe they don't want to. They feel like one of their players are going to miss out too. Like if we get De Jong, what happens to maybe even Cover or maybe even Jorginho or Kante? And Jorginho and Kante, people got to remember, they might not be signing. They might not. Maybe contracts have been offered and they don't want to sign. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, they might not extend. So. There is that dilemma too. So, yeah, don't sleep on De Jong. Is the one player I really want. De Jong's the one player that if we got De Jong, this whole anger in the fan base, I feel will turn around. If we get De Jong and another player, I think from going to, it's going to look like we've done great business and probably some of the best signings if we do that as well. And I think it's a great opportunity to go for De Jong because if
Let me ask you this quickly. Yeah. The assumptions are, and it's looking like it. You can back it up with what we're seeing out there. But first of all, I want to say big up to my Niger brother, my original Niger brother, Eric Blue. Good morning, Kuchila, bro. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well too, brother. How are you again? It's been a while. I hope things are okay with you. Please do let me know again. Coming back, the assumptions are that Barcelona are trying to push De Jong out, and it's looking like it. They played him as a centre back yesterday, didn't they?
That's all right. We played Emerson as a centre back as well. So I mean,
no, but I'm thinking, given the circumstances surrounding his stay there, they want him to take a pay cut. He's refused to do that. They owe him money. He's refused to join Manchester United. I want to get your thoughts. Really, does it really look like they want to push him out?
I mean, playing him as a centre back is not the way to do it.
It's part of it. I know he's fulfilled that role for them. I know he played there at Ajax too. But the truth remains, given he prefers playing the midfield. If you ask me, I'm not. But from everything we're hearing, do you believe really they want to push him out of the club?
No, yes. They want him to take a pay cut.
They want to keep him, but they want him to take a pay cut. I thought the argument also is they also want to sell him to make money from the sale and then buy all the players that they want.
No, because they're already getting that money. They already sold their rights for that money, and plus, La Liga's putting a clause in or something. So if they sell him, right, they have to give him his owed wages, right? And then also, what was the rule? I think you can only use 70% of that money.
Sorry, what did you say?
One of the new La Liga rules. I think you can only use 70% of transfer sales, something like that.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not well acquainted with that.
Anyway, there's a rule like that. I might be a little off on the number, but there is a rule
Mm-hmm.
on how much you could use, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, right? And after paying 17 mil, there isn't a lot to really throw on another player, to be honest. So priority for them is to try get him, and part of it was to forego that 17 million. I don't think it will happen, but that's a lot. Yeah, they've been asking him to forego that 17 million they owe him and take a pay cut. He's essentially, I remember someone ran the numbers too, right? I think it's not the exact numbers, but he's almost giving up like 80 million over the course of his contract.
But I thought the plan
Right.
was to factor what they owing him into the transfer fee.
That's what they're trying to do.
But the buying club, example, Man United refused that. I'm hearing.
So no, yeah, apparently Man United raised a bit more to compensate for that money, to help with that, but it still didn't work. And I think the other biggest problem is from going from Barcelona to Man United, there's a massive team difference, and Man United are very much going to take a while before they get going again, and Dion doesn't want to see that. But Chelsea is probably a better project to go to if he has to leave, right? I think we can get him if we might have to match what Man United offer, which they were overspending, right? And we might have to do the same. But this is an opportunity to get a player that we probably would be hard to get. You know, if it was next season and it's an open market on De Jong, and there's all these clubs involved, then it's going to be even harder. So I think it might happen. I think they are, and you're not wrong, by demanding him, take this wage cut. It essentially is trying to push a player out. And how can you get all this money from selling your rights and then spending on players and not pay the money owed to him?
And again, declared. Sorry to interfere. Like,
No, go ahead.
De Jong already took a pay cut at the time of coronavirus. Now they want him to take another pay cut, and then that's why.
Not a pay cut. He what is it? Forgo that the 17 million is from then. Yeah. So he didn't take a pay cut. He didn't get paid.
Oh, okay.
Till later. So that's why it's 17 million from Corona and to what they owe him now. That year and a half.
Yes, and then now they are telling him to take a pay cut, and to be honest,
and forget about that money.
And from my own feeling, I think this kid will leave Barcelona because like they are pushing him to take a pay cut, and then he doesn't want to do that, and they still owe him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just quickly, this comment on the screen by Liam Lane says, we cannot forget about getting. We can forget about getting any of our top targets until we get a sporting director into the door. In the door, that can be doing work on our target for a long time before a window opens. So we have a deal done quick. Do you think we cannot get our top targets? And by the way, before Declan comes in, if you haven't, please keep liking the video. We have 132 people watching, and we have just 42 likes. Let's shoot for 100 likes at least. Please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. Again, like I've always told you, you don't have to donate to the channel. All I ask of you is please like the video. The likes will go a long way for the channel. There are other ways the channel can make money. So thank you for being part of the conversation and also participating, watching alone, even when you're not talking. Please keep liking the video. So, Declan, what do you think about this comment? Do you think that's the case? Like I've always talked about, don't you think they can actually hire, a DOF who's out of job, as an expatriate, or maybe as on a freelance level to get the job done? It's business.
So you're saying that the clubs that without director of footballs can't get top targets?
Yeah, that's what it's saying, as you can see on the screen.
There's a lot of clubs without director of football. There was the director of football has been a new thing. Has been different. There's been different people that get negotiations over the line. There's not a director of football is not essential to get players over the line, especially top targets. And even with teams with director of football, don't get their top targets. All a director and the director of football is just someone that has a team under him to make sure everything runs in the same philosophy, the same. Just make sure everything fits, basically. So identifies targets we should be going for, the type of player, the type of we want to play. If we have to sack the manager, the type of manager we get. It's just someone that runs under a certain style. I can understand that can have an influence on the players that we get in, but getting a top target in, it doesn't come down to the only director of football. It comes down to the manager, the club, the players, the project, a number of things. I went through before. The city, how much money they're going to get.
Again, go ahead, Declan.
Yeah, how much money they're going to get, how it influences. There is so many factors, right? And basically, it doesn't come. Everyone's trying to, like I said, everyone's trying to point the finger. I mean, maybe if we had a better ambassador, maybe if you had a better conversation. I mean, sometimes it comes down to the manager, how he says he's going to play the player. I can see you playing like this, and I can get I feel like getting the best out of you like this and this and that. And sometimes players from the same league versus someone that comes in from a different league has an advantage, because the player that played against that team remembers, man, this team was really drilled and they were this good, and I want to play for them, and just so on. Do you know what I mean? But to try point a finger at one director of football, like a position higher up, or if Marina was still here, or if the owner. I mean, if we still had Abramovich, do people think we're going to get all these targets over the line? We would have been in the same boat.
Because it was never about money.
Yeah, and you know what? And this is something that went against us as well. The players that we attracted were players like Lukaku, who know that when they come to Chelsea, player power was a big factor. They're the player. We attracted a lot of those players that came here, and they knew they had a lot of power and influence, and that the managers didn't matter, right? Not the other way around. So it doesn't matter what our manager said, right? Because the player knows they'll probably come here and be under a new manager. I mean, think of any manager saying, I can see you playing like this, and we're going to go this. Anything he said long term didn't even matter to a player. But Chelsea, for the most part, were ready to win things. That's what was the biggest attraction.
Yeah, that was a big factor indeed in helping us get a lot of players, because the players coming in will be they have the assurance that we're going to be winning stuff no matter how bad we were then. But again, I think things have changed, and I think every player, every club, a lot of factors. The fact that we're desperate, the fact that we're depleted at this point, given how many players we've lost, and we're going to lose also, and there's no assurance of being able, to fill the team up as it should be before the season starts. And like you mentioned the other day, Kounde probably looking at Barcelona and realize, okay, I have more chance. I have more chance of winning trophies with Barca. The way the two teams, comparing the two teams right now. But that's, by the way, I want to quickly start with you, Ty. By the way, how are you doing? And I'm going to I will scroll to the very bottom of all the comments. If I miss your inputs there, apologies. I will try to read your subsequent contributions in the chat, because if I keep reading like this, the show will end and I'll not be able, to catch up. Ty, here's the thing I've always talked about, and this comment from Chelsea the Kingslayer brings that to mind. Todd Boehly traveled to Spain and he had a meeting with Laporta. And okay, after the meeting, it just seemed as if we've been disrespected by Barcelona, which may end up not being the case. I have a theory. My theory is that, like this thing, Chelsea the Kingslayer says here, maybe this is all the plan. We allow Barca to have Kounde, and now they will allow us a chance to sign a Frenkie de Jong for Aspi and Alonso. But maybe my case is just maybe allow us. In my case, I'd say allow us get Frenkie de Jong, because if that doesn't happen, if the window shuts and they were able to top up Andreas Christensen, they were able to sign Rafinha on the noses. If they get Kounde at the end of the day, because it doesn't look like Sevilla has accepted their bid because they're trying to bid for something lower. If they're able to get a Kounde for a lower fee, and then able to, have set top up Andreas Christensen, able to also, again, they've tapped up to our captain also, and Marcos Alonso. That's 5 players. And then we don't even get De Jong from them. And then I don't know what the heck did he discuss with them there. So Ty, your thoughts on the theory that maybe the plan is to, let us have De Jong, because the rumors were a few weeks ago that we want him.
If that was the case, then that is foolish business.
Because explain why.
Because you're gonna allow them to get a well, Kingsley puts it in quotations. Allow them to get these players when you're in need of defenders. Yes, people say we have defenders, but how much of those defenders are at a level where you can rely on them to not make mistakes continuously? Yes, Kounde makes mistakes as well, but at the same time, you can't be saying that I'll allow you to get these players and then we'll take De Jong off you. That would be a foolish business, because we need midfielders, yes, as well, because the midfield is getting older, the midfield gets injured, and it's a World Cup year. But at the same time, De Jong hasn't played as a DM in years. The last time he played as a DM was probably at Ajax. So I don't think that is the smartest thing, because right now we need a DM and not more of a player who is playing more as a box to box. So I think in that sense, if that was the case, then that's foolish, because even if you're going to say that we have defenders and we can just get De Jong who will facilitate our need of somebody to help defend with the defenders, I don't get the point of view losing 2 defenders so far, and then you could possibly lose Aspi. You need to replace them. So if that was the case, I think that's foolish business, because you can't be allowing them to get these targets, and then when you look at other alternatives, those ones are more expensive, and you'd have to pay more than how you have to pay for Kounde. So I don't think that per se is a point. It could be possible, but I just think that is foolish business if you're doing that in terms of trying to get De Jong by allowing them to be able to get these players. I don't know. I don't think it really makes much sense.
Yeah, Declan, your thoughts on the theory, because if all these things are happening and we're learning that relationship between Barcelona and Chelsea is still good, despite reports that Chelsea are pissed at Barcelona. What the heck did he discuss with them in Spain? Did Todd Boehly discuss with Laporta in Spain? I'm going to keep saying this until it is clear maybe it was really a good discussion, or maybe a good meal like he said it was. I'm just confused right now. What do you think about this theory?
That they're on good relations?
The plan all this while may have been, okay, we'll let you get this player, get the other player, then you let us get this one. But I'm saying if the window shuts and we're not even able to get De Jong, then we've been played. And then he has to explain what kind of that is a plan. Why did he even travel to Spain in the first place to talk to Laporta? And there are other things I'm seeing. I've seen him with Laporta. Laporta is for the Super League, right? And we also seen him with what's the Real Madrid president? Who's also
Perez?
Who? Perez. We've seen him in a photo with Perez. That's in his own stadium, right? So it looks like he's cozying up to the Super League guys. So if we don't get any of these players, then maybe he went there to talk about Super League, to see how much money he can make out of it, and not even talk about football and aspect of the whole thing. So I want to get your thought, Declan.
Yeah, I think we've discussed it before on that and what happened in that meal, a discussion. Uh, I don't think there's any malice, but and there could have been really really talks of multiple players, multiple negotiations of because like you said, there was 5 players probably more entwined on interests, and also there is Aspie Alonso there too that were linked with him as well, and maybe we're in for De Jong. Maybe we're in for more players than we think. There had to be some real big negotiations or talks, and maybe they all failed as well. But regardless,
Or
for
maybe he's
them to
down
meet
for the
up face
Super
to
League.
face, yeah, that could be a factor too. Any person going for, I accused any person going for Chelsea when they were trying to purchase it, will probably wanted to be in the game because they could probably feel the Super League was close. Like Barca selling a lot of their future future TV rights and merchandising, and people willing to pay big monies because they probably promised them that they're going to push for the Super League as well. The Super League is going to come back, and they're going to propose it way better than they did. Because I mean, if you saw how the new Champions League is being revealed, clubs aren't happy, and viewers aren't happy. They're watering down these competitions. So I think there's going to be strong, a strong push this time around. But I don't think right now there would have been talks for a Super League. I think that that was for players. I mean, if you're going to talk about Super League, it's this. You know how Boehly had the dinner organised before the Premier League clubs. That's where you're going to see more of a Super League talk of, if anything. But right now, that going back to that dinner and for them to meet up, I think was a more important negotiation in players. Something they could have done over the phone or video call, but it might have been multiple players, multiple interests, a big negotiation, something that can solve, something that Boehly wanted to do face to face, or it could be a very cultural thing that Boehly did, even with his sport clubs, instead of doing video chats and stuff like that, to meet a rival bidder face to face and have a chat, or even if it's just dinner, even if it's just to get to know him. It could be very cultural.
I think the truth is he's into dinner quite a lot.
Or
maybe he just likes food. Maybe he likes Spanish food or something. He just went there to eat.
Like, remember, we've got reposting Todd Boehly met with.
Go ahead, we lost you.
I think
Okay, go ahead.
He's trying to build relationship across the world.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Am I lying?
Yeah, that's true. Because maybe it's the same thing he's doing with the Premier League his executives, just trying to welcome himself. But obviously, some players will be mentioned as well.
Yeah, again, to this comment here on the screen. Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead when you finish.
Because you remember he met Perez as well, as you mentioned. So it could be that maybe he's just trying to meet with all the executives or the representatives of all the clubs that he could probably negotiate with as well. Maybe he's trying to build a relationship, so it'll be easier to negotiate with certain clubs. You never know, because Real Madrid have some players that maybe in the past we were interested in some of their players. Barcelona, there are players that probably would attract us, and obviously there's some other players in the Premier League that also would be attractive as well. So you never know. Maybe he's trying to build a relationship, so it's easier to negotiate with them. And even if they're rivals as well, they'll be more open because they'll know that he's somewhere that they can negotiate with. He's a welcoming person. You never know. It could be that he's doing it, probably to benefit the club in long term.
Again, there's no way to tell, but again, if at the end of that's by the time the transfer window shuts, it ends up like we're not even able to get De Jong. That really asks some questions. And PJ Artist says, hi, Jack Anthony incoming. but it'd be too late. Again, we're not. I wouldn't even advocate for that because we're not even good at hijacking players. Actually, it is just go shame us in public again. If you haven't, we have 125 people watching, and we have just 53 likes. Please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you again for all the support. And if you're a mod, please. Pay attention to new people in the chat. Always welcome them, and also, ask people to like the video and subscribe. That will go along with Ziyech should be in Serie A already. Again, I don't think we'll be looking to let any player go if we can bring in a replacement because it's a huge risk, and I don't think the club will be willing to risk that. Again, we need squad depth, even if the player isn't happy. They're all professionals after all. If they end up not leaving, they will perform. If you give them an opportunity and try to get them to be happy, I think they will perform. Declared, I think you already answered this question. Here's Alehin Abele says Chelsea lost Kounde due to delay, and now hurry up to get players. If it is possible, Fofana is best, and we need strikers and left backs. I think the club, they know our priorities. They know the players we want. They know the areas we have to strengthen. But these deals aren't easy to complete. And remember, we started talking to players very late because the concerns of the club, of everybody, aligned with the club at a point where all the clubs were busy talking to players, was to see the club survive, because thoughts were we were going to go under, if you ask many people. But that's, by the way, Declan, I'm sure you've answered this question. Have you responded to these? I think you have. I saw that in the chat. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that. We needed the let's give West Ham a Broya plus money. Can you stop advocating for that? You sound really like a Fulham fan. What the heck are you talking about? You and I are going to fight here, brother. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, legend of the Rice, Chelsea Academy man. I'm not falling for that. I know Declan would want us to get Declan Rice, but that's, by the way, calling Alonso and Aspi defenders is a stretch nowadays, especially the two goals that are allowed to us. And I don't want to go into that argument, but I get your point there. I just reported Barca cannot register Lewa and Rafinha until De Jong is sold. I heard that too, but there's no way to verify that. As Christensen also played in a friendly, Lewa played in that friendly. Are they allowed to play in friendlies even when they're not registered? Because you'd have to be registered with FIFA too. So I'm a bit confused. Maybe I have to get myself acquainted with those things to know what I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom so that when we move to the next topic, everything we talk about will be aligned. So thank you for all the great contributions in the chat. I don't think I've seen Joel McCollins. Nice to see you here, and all the people here. McCollins, let's get a video with Werner used as a bait back to his old club. Aspi and Alonso to Barcelona with money on top to get Frenkie de Jong because we lack a creativity in midfield, and he is a top draw. Again, here's the thing. I think Declan alluded to that a bit. He was wondering why people don't rate de Jong. He will create chances for us, which our midfielders lack. He will get us more goals if he's allowed the independence, to bump forward. I think he'd get us more goals. Again, thank you for 50.
Can I also respond to it was Tobago that said it, yeah? We need a DM. De Jong's not a DM, yeah?
I think it says, I'm not sure who said that, but go ahead with your response.
It was me.
Oh, yeah, you? Okay, go ahead, Declan.
If we get De Jong, he's not coming in as a DM. I understand what you need. And there could be a case to be said that we play three centre backs to make up for that DM, right? Because if you get a DM and three centre backs, that's a bit too much defensive abilities. That's why we have three centre backs. Either you have two centre backs, one DM, right? Or we got three centre backs and we don't need a DM, right? That's the case. The issue is that De Jong might come in and replace Kovacic, who's one of our best players, which is an improvement, but almost not needed. But it's still an improvement, regardless. And it also can bring it could also make the case where, well, we got good midfielders. Maybe we should play with three in the middle, and maybe Tuchel will be more inclined to change it up, to change up the system, because we have so much good midfielders, right? That people wanted as well. So there's that as well. But if you could get a tune out of Kovacic and De Jong, and De Jong can almost be that link-up play. De Jong can almost not have to sit back, and they can take turns, right, between him and Kova in the system, and also do the distributing that Jorginho does. Then we can happily get rid of Jorginho or let him go, or even he sits on the bench, because that's a player that has been hard to replace and might be leaving, might not be signing an extension. So I think De Jong can solve a lot of questions, and he's not. We don't essentially need a defensive midfielder when we play three in the back.
Ty, you want to respond to that?
Is he saying that if De Jong comes in, Jorginho, we can let Jorginho leave?
Yeah, I think that's possible, because I think
I think Jorginho might be leaving. Not that we have to let him leave.
But it's looking like Jorginho
there's a
himself is
question mark.
planning to leave on a free. I can see that happening. Remember, I said that. But go ahead.
It does look like he's pushing to leave this summer. It looks as if he could leave next summer, because he based on what I heard Koulibaly say, do you want to play with you and things like that? I don't know. Maybe he wants to stay and then leave on a free. I mean, yes, and I guess when you play three centre backs, it kind of makes up for a DM. But I think maybe with the fact that we need to, I think maybe we get we get overturned, or it's imbalanced because we play against teams with three midfielders and we have only two. So I'm saying maybe if you can switch to you can't just switch like that. But maybe, in the future, if you get in a DM or somebody who has that defensive ability that you can rely on, maybe you can switch to a three-man midfield, because I think we get outnumbered in terms of how many midfielders we play with. And I mean, unless we're going to be playing one of the midfielders as a defender, I really don't see how that really can be fixed. So I think that is why I'm saying that if De Jong comes in, he adds creativity. But to me, I think that there's going to always be this issue of being outnumbered, and the defense will always be caught in a 1v1, like we always see in games, because we were being outnumbered and we don't add DM or somebody who can play deep to help the defense. Jorginho used to do it, but he stopped doing it, so I don't know.
No, he still does do it, and we're not outnumbered. I think there's a misperception about.
Yeah, finally I have somebody on the
backline.
panel that can pronounce a word. It's not just me. I'm just
Yeah, I'm
kidding.
bad at
It happens. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so people think that we're actually set up to be very anti-counter. We have three in the back, we have and two midfielders. It's five people, right? We are actually we're actually not outnumbered. We're actually committing more to the back than other teams. Do you know what I mean? If you compare us, if you want to compare us to like Liverpool and City, we actually have more behind the ball. If the problem is that and what you actually want, if Jorginho and Kova were a jack of all trades, that's what you want. So if those two players could defend when we want them to defend and attack, and when when we play Kante Kova as the more box to box and they go up, they're not a threat. When we commit that extra, we send two wing backs up. We got three attackers, 5 attackers. When we want to give that sixth person, we don't have it. Rudiger goes up, right, to be that sixth person to help out, right? He's not massive a threat. Kova goes up, Kante goes up, right? They're not. When we send extra man, there is no attack. There's no extra attacking threat. They won't do it. They don't give that final pass. So if it's and now in the preseason, you know who that player is, and this is where it's changing. It's Conor Gallagher. That's that player. Conor Gallagher in the role. He's actually having permission to go up more than some of our wing backs. Right? It used to be our wing backs, and now one of them sits if Conor goes up, and it looks like Conor's going up, and he's around the box, and he's a massive threat.
That's a really good observation right there.
Yeah, and it could be something that just for the sake of preseason.
Conor, it's been. Would you say Conor is being, he's been molded into that Kovacic role?
Yeah, not and also with extra permissions to go up before other players. So like we used to have if you thought who had priority, like the more permission to go up, right? Was obviously the three attackers. Mason Mount was the person that actually was the deepest out of them, and then our wing backs had more permission to go up than the two midfielders, right? So our main five attackers that attacked all the time were the two wing backs and the three forwards, right? And then also in sequence, right? It might have been Kovac starts to go up or Kante, but when they did go up, they didn't have that final ball. They didn't have an attacking threat. They were just around the box, and that's why that thing comes from people. Oh, we just sideway passes, or no one wants to shoot, and because those players don't really have it in them. They're not gonna be in an attacking third. Just to kick just to take a shot like Rudiger did. When Rudiger came in and he'll get in a position. Just to take that shot that I think he got once out of a blue moon. So, but in preseason, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if it could be just because of the players we had, but the Conor Gallagher has a different role to Kovacic, and even though it's the same position, the difference was that Conor Gallagher runs in from deep, right, and also is around the box. So, and then you see one of the wing backs. Maybe the opposing side won't be as committed as how when Chilwell and Reece James played or whoever played. So it's a role that Gallagher has been given, and I'm not sure if it's just to accommodate him for the preseason, but it's how probably Tuchel saw how he wanted Cover to play, how he wanted Mason Mount to play, right? When he put Mason Mount in the 6, that when he early on and it didn't go well. But maybe he sees Conor Gallagher doing it well, and then you can have a team where Conor Gallagher, Mount, and then and Cover could miss out just because he didn't have an attacking threat. It's not to blame. It's just because his tools are not not getting the best out of the system. So there's another player that falls under that bracket, and we have a number of those players. So I think people got to watch, maybe watch the upcoming games and see how some of these players being used. And I feel like maybe we haven't seen the full of this system yet, of how Tuchel really wanted to play, because he didn't get his players, and now he's getting some players, and it's maybe opening up more. And if that's true about Gallagher, then De Jong would be the perfect fit then. For what Tuchel's trying to do.
Yeah, that'd be horrible though. If
horrible for what to happen, Ty?
If Kovacic misses out because of that, I
don't think he'd miss out, but I think it makes sense to even think about it. Again, we've seen the cases where
I know no one wants to say miss out, but what if it was that Kovacic was holding the system back because he didn't have that attacking threat?
But it's just a question.
Kovacic did everything perfectly, but except being an attacking threat. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not Kovacic's fault, because he's great at what he does, and he's probably one of the best, right? But the only thing Kovacic lacks in is when he's around the box, he's not an attacking threat. And then if
Yeah,
Kovacic could do what Jorginho did, then Kovacic could be the one that sits back and maybe defends more, right? Or maybe we play, if we play the three in the middle, then maybe you can get that Kovacic to be that middle role. But still, even then, if you play Kovacic in the middle, you'll have two that sit back and one go up, and we'll have a similar problem. That's the only thing that we're letting Kovacic is not. Kovacic is held back by his attacking threat in this system, and that's what's sad about the whole issue. And I think maybe people might be more open to that when you see Conor Gallagher do what Kovacic was doing and actually scoring, then we're gonna, our view is gonna change. And so if we got De Jong in as well, and De Jong was doing the same thing and also creating and getting assists, and same with Gallagher, which is going to be very similar in the role I'm talking about, then I think our view on Kovacic might change, because we knew Kovacic should do all great things, but now all of a sudden the person playing his role is doing a lot more, and we probably overrated Kovacic. Maybe but overall we're going to get more out of it. So how we're going to look at? We're not going to say poor cover when we're getting more out of the role.
I will, because I always think about all the players. So that's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly catch up with the chat. I'll come back to the panel again, so I'm not far too behind. Just Viola says, hey, Kachila and Panel, how are you doing, Just Viola? I hope you're doing well. Again, here is Joel McCollin says, Jorginho, Barkley, Ruben Loftus-Cheek need to all go. Not good enough. Again, it's not easy to just let players go. You have to find a replacement. Otherwise, you'll be, trimming the squad, and then by the time you know it, you don't have squad depth, and that's very dangerous. Because if you look back, everything Thomas Tuchel has everything he's been able to achieve at Chelsea at this point is due to the squad depth. Again, whether you like it or not, he rotated quite a lot. AD Love for Blue says, Kachila, players in and out. Lukaku, Broja, Werner. Lukaku out for Broja, Werner for Maxim, Ziyech for Zaha, Batshuayi for Depay, Aspi for Dumfries, Alonso for Sosa, Rudiger for Koulibaly, Christensen for Skriniar, Barkley and Sagoul for Sangare. Again, not a bad shout to all these players, but again, we have to. I have to reiterate this. No matter how long we discuss a certain player, it all comes down to what the manager wants. And by the way, we've all called for the manager to be back. And if that's what the club are doing right now, we shouldn't be questioning the decisions in the market. But these are all good players you mentioned. But signing them all, again, forget the ones who signed already. That would be, again, I haven't done the mathematics to see how much those players will cost us. But I'm not sure we're even serious about Sangare. It was mentioned before when it broke that we were looking for a defensive midfielder. It was Bissouma, but then that one died off. We haven't heard anything about it again for quite some time. Frenkie de Jong would bring loads to our midfield. He brings agility. He brings a great vision. He brings pace. He's a utility player too. He can also slot in seamlessly in the defense. That is in the centre-back role. He's that good. He's a player I really would like us to get. Frenkie de Jong playing CB for Barcelona proves his defensive versatility. People overrate our current injury-prone and aging midfield. Again,
why are those players injured though? That's the question. Why are they always injured?
I don't know. Maybe it's the age then. Maybe because they don't have. We don't rest them as much as we should rest them. I think we've talked about that before because they're human.
It's a long conversation for why these players get injured so easily, but that would take up the entire show, so it's not worth mentioning.
Yeah, in terms of the injury, we have to consider. I think most of them we overplay them, and I think I'm starting to sense maybe I have to look back to see if that's how Thomas Tuchel operates really, because we've talked about how if he prefers a certain player. Even if he has another option on the bench, he will keep using that preferred player until he breaks a leg or loses an arm before he brings in the alternate player. But that's, by the way, it's difficult since only 9 days left for the season to start. The season will be more difficult. Again, it's going to be a long season. But here's the thing, I think it won't be as difficult as we think it would be. I think we'll still have good players. I think with N'Golo Kante participating in the midfield and Kovacic starting, I think we'll be better off. Maybe we'll see some new faces. Defensive area is really where I'm concerned. But you could say we'll be fine now, even if we're not able to bring in new players before the season starts. I think we'll still be fine. We're not facing the strongest of teams in the Premier League. Again, we'll see what happens, but I still think we'll be fine. Here, it says all Arsenal had to do was press our midfielders to embarrass us in Florida. That's the truth. They pressed the life out of our two midfielders again, and they were everywhere. You could say confused at some point. Let's get the likes of people, more than 100 watching, so we should do better than 70 likes. Please keep liking the video, and if we have 143 votes for the poll, we should have at least 100 likes right now. Please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. We have 71 likes when we have 148 people watching. We can do better than that. Please, people, keep liking the video to help us reach more people, because the more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will be able to reach. More people will have here, more fun the show will be. Again, thank you, the queen of the house, for saying that. I sincerely do appreciate that. I don't who's Frenkie de Jong is quality. Then you have to watch him again. But I don't advise you, making decision based on clips of videos where it's just all the good he does. I think he's a good player overall. You need to take your time to research him quite well. Sorry?
I think you can use little videos to tell how a player plays, because
it can show you how, but the statistics will tell more stories, which focuses on the overall output.
Or misleading, because successful passes could be somebody just passing the ball backwards, and it just goes back. So I don't. Some stats it doesn't tell the full story. But the videos, it kind of helps, but it also doesn't tell the full story, because you're just seeing his best moments. Unless you watch videos where they say weaknesses, strengths, and things like that. That's the only thing. But the videos kind of can tell you.
Here's the thing. For me, I'd rather the stats, because the stats presents the overall output of the player in a certain season. But videos are just clips from millions of seasons ago, all together, presenting the player as a good player overall. But stats will tell you the truth. That's how I see it. Go ahead.
Well, it's 50-50, but I guess in that sense... No,
I don't think it's 50-50. For me, that's in my opinion. Can you tell me how it's 50-50 tie?
Because, what you just said, they combine from... So for example, we're in 2022, so they show a video if they're at the club since 2019. If they may even use when they were at a past club as well, and say 2019, and you see those moments that you go on and you do that. So I think in that sense, it doesn't really tell the full story, but also the stats. And I get what you mean in terms of stats, because if you compare the season by season, you'll say, okay, so this season he scored more goals. The next season his goals started to dip, and then you wonder why that happened. And then when you look at the other season, you realize that he's scoring more goals than the previous two seasons. So I think maybe then the stats can help you. But like certain stats, it doesn't really tell the full story. That's what I mean. Some stats don't really tell you what you need to know about the player.
Declan, do you have anything to say to that? So, but Ty, before I go to Declan, which would you rather use to get to understand the player better? It looks like we lost Declan, but Ty.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Ty.
Yeah, I asked Ty. Ty, which would you rather use, Ty?
Well, if it's over a period of time, then I would use stats, because like he said, the videos can be a combination of the best moments, and the only videos that I can really say kind of can help you is like a video on your weaknesses. That's the only thing, because that's what I use for Mendy and realize that he's not good on the ball, and that is one of his weaknesses. So He's not a sweeper keeper. That's what I use. But I guess the stats in itself over a period of time. So if you compare one season with the other season and then another season, you can probably use that to see where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are, and then you can see if the quality in their squad drops or if it's a case where they just had a bad season overall.
I'm going to quickly end this poll, and I'll go to Declan. The poll asks, do you want Chelsea to get De Jong? 67% says yes, and says get him already. 33% said nope, too expensive. I'm going to end that one. Declan, your thoughts, which would you prefer, to scout a player, if really, that is because we don't watch them, but as somebody who's from afar wants to know how good a player is overall. If you're going to choose one, it's good to see the videos and see the statistics. Which one do you think will give you, a better sense of how good a player is?
It kind of depends on the video. I feel that.
So you want to side with Ty for this one, but go ahead.
No, I'm giving a personal, my personal way of deciding. Because I think, what's the saying where a picture can is 1,000 words?
1,000 words or something like that.
Yes, yeah, and a video paints, multiply that so much more. So for me, because I've played before, I think I look for so much more. There's only so much as statistics can tell you, right? And statistics can help you with something you felt. Like if you said, it helps with your eye test. For example, if you felt like this player wasn't good defensively, and then you went and looked statistically, and your statistics proved your eye test, right? So that's how I look at it. Statistically, it can prove what you mean eye test. But Ty was right about videos can paint a different picture. If you take out the best moments, you can make any player look really good, right? But for me, it's always the videos. The videos show you who we played against, what he did against, right? How he did it, how he was used in a role, and so on. So I think for me, the videos give me so much more information than something statistically can. Statistics only back up your eye test. Not have to be gender. Your eye test prediction, or whatever you want to say. It just backs the video up.
I just lost this one, and I suspected you were going to side with Ty. But for me, I'd rather look at the statistics. If I want to sign a player, look at the statistic. Here's the player statistic for the past season, which gives me his overall. And that's an understanding of his overall output. But you can, both will help, actually.
Can I just add this part, though?
I said, look at the videos, both, yeah. And look at the statistics. And then,
can I add this part, though?
Yeah, you need both, actually. But go ahead, Ty, you were saying something.
I'm saying, if you look at the goals they scored, if you look at the videos per se about the best moments, the video will tell you that, okay, because sometimes the stats about how many goals only told them how many times it was offside, how many times the shot they took was on target and the goalkeeper saved it. It doesn't tell you that. So it will make them look, if you see somebody with 4 goals and 8 assists, it doesn't tell you that these players created a chance and then whoever the ball went to and they took the shot, they shot it over the bar. So that is why now I'm saying the stats don't really tell the full story. The videos per se, although the video just shows their best moments, you can actually see that they actually have that ability, but at the same time, due to the person that the ball eventually gets to put in the back of the net, they're not able to beat the goalkeeper or they shoot it wide. So that is why, even with Reece James and the amount of assists he got, it could have been more. But obviously, we know that, due to circumstances, we weren't able to. So that is why I say stats doesn't really tell the full story, because it doesn't tell you that this player could have had double figures, but due to the fact that they were offside, due to the fact that they took a shot and the goalkeeper put off a top-notch save, they were not able to score. So that is why I'm saying the stats does help you, because you can compare them over a period of time. but a video really tells you what they do, because you can see the way that they play. You can see how they got out of pressure and press. So that is why I say that the video, in a sense, can really help you, despite it just showing their best moments. Because you see if they're weak at something, even though it's comparing.
Yeah,
Video.
I'm laughing because Josh Viola and Liam Lane both are they cooperating to shame me in public already. But that's by the way. I'll be all right. I'm losing on the panel and they're shaming me. But that they're right though. After putting on the poll, I should have an option that says both, just like we've learned. And that's why I love the Blue Morning Show. We think objectively. There's always something new to learn. And because those in the chat are involved, every now and then we switch topic, but it's still enjoyable. It doesn't take us too far. I'm going to catch up with the chat. I'll come back to the panel. We'll move to the next topic, which is an interesting one. Again, if you're watching, thank you so much. Thank you so much for 86 likes. That's not easy. We have 156 people watching and we have 86 likes. Just 14 more to get to 200. Again, we're shooting for at least 200 likes today. If we can get to 300, it will be a record. The most we've gotten, I think, is 280 plus. Let's keep liking the video. And also, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But then again, thank you for 86 likes. You guys are absolute legends, and I can't thank you guys enough. Here, I think I've read that one. Here it says, Kachila and the panel, remember next season allows 5 subs, so we need a quality in our squad. Doing a great job, bro. Thank you very much, AD Love for Blue. I appreciate the compliment and thank you for all your support. I said no need to sell covers. I don't think would sell him, but if you paid attention to what Declan was saying, he's just looking at what could happen. With the possibilities of things that could happen if we bring in De Jong. So he's not saying that he thinks he's going to leave. Conor Gallagher, Frenkie de Jong, Kante, Ampadu, good shout there. Cover plays like him. He should learn shooting and scoring goals. Again, I'd still take him. Maybe that's a chance he improves. I think he's gotten better, actually. He's gotten more assists this past season. And he scored some wonder goals. Again, I still keep him in the team. But I want him to create more chances. Coach, I'm coming with some smoke today. Yeah, bring out the smoke. I am tired of this place. Yep, speak your mind, brother. Arthur Love, how are you doing, bro? We haven't, I think, Arthur Low, not V. We haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well. He says, hi, Kachila. I am just here to support you. My disappointment has gotten the best out of me. The transfer windows have delivered 2 good signings. I don't think we will get great signings. I think we'll still the signings doesn't have to be great on the surface for them to do well for us. If you look at even, for instance, Azaz how well he served us and how good he's done at the club. Again, we didn't even know he was going to be that good. I was one of those that didn't like him that much when he joined Chelsea. He ended up being more than just a player for us, and as a player, he did quite well. And he is an exemplary professional. If you want to look at all those things, again, good players, they don't have to be that expensive. They don't have to be the most popular in the football world. We must recognize that. I think we've grown accustomed to always, only recognizing players who are, out there in the media, who are, firing on all cylinders, because that's what players the type of players are known to go for. There are players who we don't know. Now, you before you know it, again, out there doing quite well, but because they're not playing for one of the most popular clubs, or because they're not playing for a team that TV don't cover that much, we don't know about them. But there are scouts that are good at picking them out. Scouts like the Monaco scouts do that quite a lot. Southampton has good scouts that do such things. I think maybe, again, good players don't have to be very expensive. So I am for any player that they bring in by the time the window shuts, even if I haven't heard of the player before, because Todd Boehly is a numbers man. Thomas Tuchel himself is a numbers man. So the player doesn't have to be that popular to be that good, but I get your argument. Big up everyone. Chelsea have not walked away from the Kounde deal, the Undertaker CFC, again, even if they haven't, I really don't want to talk about it. It's depressing, and I've lost some weight.
Undertaker has come out with the tombstone.
Sorry?
The Undertaker has come out with a tombstone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's doing. And the bus driver is on the panel. I'm going to bring him.
Welcome to
and Ty joined your boys, all right?
Yeah,
I'm waiting at the bus stop.
No, I'm waiting for a different bus. I'm waiting for the hope we sign players by the end of the window bus.
Oh, so you haven't joined the panic bus. And I think Jos Viola has become a passenger too, but we'll get to that. Let me catch up with the chat. Again, please show support. Yes. Again, people, please keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things do go a long way. Thank you for all the support. You guys are absolute legends. We're at 92 likes right now, just 8 more to get to 100 likes. Timo is a sprinter who managed to become a footballer. You can argue that. Again, for obvious reasons, you need a striker and one more defender more than anything else. Elaborate. I want to see that. Kachila report says we can spend 200 million to 250 million this window and still be okay. I think we can spend twice as much as that because the new owners are allowed to invest in the club, and the money we spend in the transfer window counts as part of the investment. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I get that right, Declan?
This statement?
The new owners are allowed to spend to a certain measure, and 200. I think they can spend beyond 200 million, 300 million, and still be okay because it counts as investment.
They can spend 500 million and still be all right.
Yeah, exactly. So you heard that they can spend 500 million and still be all right. And again, I want to let you know this. Forget the 200 million budget you had before. It's absolute nonsense. And to my utmost surprise, like I said yesterday, most content creators were calling it a war chest. That's not even a stretch chest. It's not even a stretch chest. It's not even enough because we did a show answering the question, how many good players can 200 million buy? If you really want to go for big names, there's a single player you buy and you'd be left like almost like only 60 million. So that doesn't make sense. So forget that number there. It says Lukaku is no different. Again, I'm gonna stop talking about Lukaku right now. I'm gonna skip to the very bottom so that we can switch to the next topic. I would use the videos and stats and get both good and bad moment of a player. Some of the stats don't make sense. As Ty said, so everybody now is against me. Those on the panel, even those on the chat, even Jos Viola, she's colluding with Liam Lane, to shame me in public, saying yes, I should have a third option on the poll. But that's by the way. I'm just kidding anyway. I know you guys know that. Breaking news: Chelsea still in the mix of Kounde as Barca finds Sevilla had to negotiate with. They think Sevilla will accept something less, and I think it's good that Chelsea pulled out of the deal. Again, if Sevilla wants more money, they should come back to us and say, okay, we're willing to sell him to you. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Thank you again for all the likes. Please keep liking the video. And my apologies, sincere apologies. If I missed your comments, I will try to read your subsequent comments. Good morning, Kachila. I am watching the Chelsea transfer like my stocks. I don't blame you. Again, I even developed, I wouldn't call it a software, more like a page where I see everything scroll, and I started using it as, but that was before the whole thing got worse though. So every time I'm looking at it, watching it scroll to see if I can get anything new. But that's, by the way. So I'm going to quickly come back to the panel, and I want us to start with this one here. And the bus driver is already here. So Barca still haven't signed Kounde. I thought the operation was going to conclude yesterday. You're probably praying for them to sign him because you don't want him at Chelsea.
Yes.
I know that already.
Please.
I know. Go ahead. I want to let you talk.
I want him to go there. I don't know what's the fuss about this Kounde guy. Come on. He's not like his prime Cafu. He's like, a player that we desperately need. Let him go there.
Mm-hmm.
Let him go to Barcelona and see. Let him, I don't wish a player to flop, but let him play there. We see. Look at Rudiger leaving Chelsea, and now he's gonna be a left back. You see, the grass is not always green on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Declan, do you have anything to say to that?
It's pre-season. De Jong played centre back, so
But how many matches now?
The manager himself said, "I don't want to break the partnership I had last season after winning the Champions League. So Rudiger will have to be a left back and fighting with Ferland Mendy. Ferland Mendy is actually a very good left back. So good luck, Mr. Rudiger."
So which shows
if
you
Rudiger
that he's
ends up
probably
on
going
the
to be a
bench,
backup
then good.
to Mendy.
Yeah, well, he'll have to fight with Mendy. I think Mendy's a first choice left back, so he has to fight against someone who's naturally a left back. So good luck to him. I think eventually what's gonna happen is eventually he will play centre back because I think Rudiger is better than, or dare I say this, than Militao and Alaba. I think eventually his quality will
I think he'll take Alaba's spot. I think Alaba.
Yeah, he will eventually. I think he will. But at the
Yeah.
beginning of the season, he might just have to ride the bench and play left back from time to time. But anyways, that's his issue. Maybe we should put in.
What you want to say? But this is really not nice. We just hate the player and we're stalking him and talking nonsense.
Hey, you know what? I need to confront Rodrigo.
Yeah.
That controversial thing that he said last week.
What did I say?
He said, "Is Kounde better than Todd?"
Oh, okay. Let me just leave the room then.
No, but by the way, Ty, your thoughts on the Rudiger story. Since we're stalking him, let's get done stalking him before.
I mean, Rudiger is playing in a position that he hasn't played since he was at Stuttgart, so that is going to be interesting to see. And plus, Mendy, that's his natural position. He's practically the opposite of.
So he's going to be starting over Rudiger in most cases.
Yeah, but I think he's the opposite of him. I think Mendy is somebody who plays as a left back, but he used to be played as a centre back sometimes, but Rudiger is a centre back. I know he's going to be used as a left back, so it's going to be interesting. But I think he may eventually play as a centre back because I'm still yet to be convinced that Alaba is better as a centre back rather than a left back that I saw him at Bayern Munich as. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with him. But I find it funny that he left, and I don't know, maybe Ancelotti saw him running up the pitch for Chelsea and decided, maybe he can play him as a left back. So maybe
I think
that's
probably what Ancelotti, you could argue what Ancelotti values about him the most is his aggression.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go ahead, Ty.
Like these two. Oh, sorry, Ty.
Yeah, and in terms of that could probably be why. But I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just to let him have a groove of what he wants in the team, or maybe to see what he does. I think he may play as a centre back eventually, but I would not be surprised.
Playing there actually doesn't mean he will do bad because he can defend. But go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I mean it's just about if Ancelotti is willing to lose. Well, Rudiger really doesn't add that attacking, the attacking side of what a left back is required to do.
Yeah,
but Mendy does.
What I understand is even the two centre backs that have left us, even Christensen. I mean, the club that you just joined are actively looking to sign Kounde. Where are you gonna play? I mean, I think Barca play back four. Sorry, so. Christensen again is just gonna go there. He swap a Chelsea bench to a Barcelona bench. Yeah.
I think Christensen starts for them.
He actually did.
I think Christensen will play.
No,
I think he will play.
Barcelona, it will be
Christensen from time. I think you can say he's a perfect Barcelona centre back.
Yeah,
he's been doing good so far there, though.
And he's done quite well during the preseason. You should see his penetrating passes from deep. I think he hasn't been that good at Chelsea. It just seems as if he's slotted quite. It just seems as if he should have been there ever since than being at Chelsea Football Club.
I mean,
maybe the Premier League is too physical to him. Honestly,
Coach, that's because they haven't signed Kounde yet. So if they sign Kounde, now they will have Araujo and Kounde.
I feel like they may use Kounde as a right back though, because he's
yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. They got Dest, haven't they? Got
What is these entrances? Everybody just comes on and say, "I don't think so. I disagree." What is
I listening.
Okay, I'm going to catch up with the chat, and I want to get the class started. Then we'll move to the next topic. But Rodrigo, you were still saying something. Okay, let Dale say something. I will catch up with the chat. Come to declare to round off this particular topic, so we'll move on to the next one quickly.
I don't think so.
Okay, Deals, do you think so or not? You let us know.
On what?
What do you don't think so when you came in?
Or what on what them these that were saying that Kounde was right back for Barcelona? I don't think so. I don't know.
Where do you think he plays for them?
He plays for them as centre back. They need a centre back. They need a centre back because maybe
he's gonna play with Ronald Araujo.
Yeah, he's gonna play with Araujo. That's what they're.
You know the both.
No, because listen. Because Xavi was talking about apparently with Dest. That's gonna be their right back. Yeah.
So who's gonna right bench then? That's what I'm saying. They have.
Yeah, because again, Aspie in it. So shit.
They already have Christensen. Yeah. You said they need a centre back. They have Christensen.
What Barcelona do this? They're trying to build a total different 11 in one window.
Yeah,
I think that's the case. Let's move on from Barcelona. That's not why we're here. What we're here to talk. A possibility of Frenkie de Jong to Chelsea, we don't know. We're following the story and always join. I think you'll get to learn. This will be one of the first places you will hear about it if it happens. I will be surprised when Kounde starts crying for his 30 million in the forward wages. Can't wait to see that again. He hasn't gone there already because Monchi.
Wouldn't that be against him picking Barcelona too? If he was told that he had to play as a right back.
What do you say?
I'm saying when it comes to choosing, right, on the better sales pitch, if Javi came to you and said, I want you to play a right back, so not his preferred position, then that would go against. You'd probably pick Chelsea over Barcelona, if that was the case.
Do you not think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Let me ask you a question. You lot. Do you not think that we're still in talks with Kounde? Do you not still think we're there? We're still there.
I really don't want to go into that, but if anybody want to go ahead, anybody want to answer, go ahead.
Please, it gives me heart.
Of course, we're in the mix. He hasn't signed yet, has he?
He hasn't. It's taking too much time than they've, than they anticipated.
It could be a case that Chelsea have just gone. You've taken too long. Maybe he wanted Chelsea, and Chelsea are going to pull out.
It'd be funny if
Sevilla
come back
ownership.
calling. It'd be funny if Seville come back calling for us our phone, and we'd be like, no, we're looking at other targets now. You took the
because
piss of us.
That owner has been taking the piss. To be honest, that's probably the best way to put it. And Todd Boehly is just moving on.
All right, listen. I think I want us to move on from that topic. Actually, if anything happens, we will see it. We're following. We're following the story. Rudiger playing left back just for fitness. Nothing more. But I don't see Barcelona playing three at the back. So if they switched off, he may well get to play centrally. If you ask me, but we'll see what happens. Rudy, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying to the comment. We're not making this up. It's Ancelotti that said that he's gonna try play my left back because he doesn't want to break the partnership of Militao and what's his name, Alaba. It's not like we're making this up. Yeah.
And again, if he's able to fulfill the left at the back role, the difference don't add too much. I think it won't take him time to adapt to it. Rudy thought Madrid will see him as the guy just to go and play a second choice LB. That's why I think we're bitter. I have to be honest. We're just bitter. I do choose will happen. Midfield, get De Jong with Aspie and Alonso going the other way. It sounds easy, but again, player plus cash deals or swap deals if you prefer. They're usually way too complicated, and you think obviously Barcelona has a better brand of Imodium for Doggy Bell Christensen. Maybe, yeah, that's the truth. De Jong is better than we have. No question that. Again, I think we all know that. And Kimsa. The loss against Arsenal will be a blessing in disguise. That's the truth. Because if we won, everybody will be happy. Now that we're lost, we know we have a problem and we have to catch up. I think that makes sense. That's another delicious comment for the day. Sorry?
How would we have won? We do have
but you get the argument. I don't know. There's a chance we win that one actually. Hello everyone. Hello to you too, Kim. So, yeah, why are Chelsea fans running away from the young? Only a few news about Cristiano Ronaldo to Chelsea.
The holy one.
I don't know, and we don't have any news about Cristiano Ronaldo to Chelsea. But pay attention. How can Barca register all these players? I don't know. Like I've told you before. If I can, just realize if you can find that video you shared with me so that people will learn, La Liga has a structure in place which protects their clubs. It is strict, but it protects them, from, getting into trouble in most cases. Again, they'd rather, face a situation where they're not able to register players than fall into trouble. Again, I say, so why does Madrid issues concern us a lot? Again, yeah, we'll move away. We're bitter. That's the truth. And we're stocking players that they took from us to see how well or how badly they're doing. Why, again, I've read that. I says, Rudy will find out the grass is always greener on the other side from being a number one choice in Chelsea to fit. Again, that may well not be the case. Getting a Ronaldo is still a possibility. It's still a possibility, but I don't see it happening. And if you're calling for Chelsea, I know. The Clyde is calling for us to go get a Ronaldo. Again, if you watch the last video from Terry from Football Terrace on Ronaldo, I don't think he wants him back at the club. He talked about player power and the issues it's caused. Again, there's a chance he's not telling. He doesn't know everything that went on in the dressing room and all that. He's just making things up because he's frustrated with the player. Again, says again, I want to move on. Again, if you haven't, please take a second to like the video. We have 153 people watching and we have 98 likes. If you haven't, please like the video to help us reach more people. So thank you. We have 2 more. We need 2 more to get to 100 and we're shooting for 200. If we can get to 300, fine. If you're going to help us break that record and get to 300 likes today, I'd really appreciate that. Again, this one, we've read this one and this one here. Okay, the client have also answered that question, so we're going to move on to the next topic. Sorry, Ty, were you saying something?
It's me.
Were you saying something?
I wanted to ask the panel quickly a question, yeah? Do you think...
I agree.
Let me ask a question, yeah?
No, I agree, Deus. I agree. I disagree.
The question before the question is even asked.
Go ahead, Deus. We're just kidding, bro.
Do you think Thomas Tuchel is looking for a profile that is like a Rudiger, like a Christensen? Do you reckon he's looking for that type of defender? Or
you mean as a player profile or as a personality profile?
I can answer that question. I spoke to Tuchel. He told me yes, he's looking for. He's definitely looking for Rudiger.
No. Because if you look at the players that we're going for, yeah. Height wise, do you think that's what he wants at the moment, or do you think? Would you not think?
I
think Koulibaly is.
Start declared since you're the one next to the way we're lined up. Go ahead.
I want to see a player that can drive like Rudiger. What happened with Rudiger?
No, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see a player.
Why is that?
Why do you want to see a centre back around the box?
No. Driving the ball in towards the midfield. That's what I want to see.
Why do you want to see a centre back drive the ball up?
Because look what Rudiger done. He done it so well.
I get it, but what Rudiger done wasn't right.
Well, you don't think so?
He was forced to do it.
Yeah, because
Sorry?
I think it's the. No, go on.
No. What I'm saying is that the reason he did it is because someone had to do it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was forced to do it.
Yeah, sorry, Ty. I didn't quite get what you said when you said it the first time.
Because Christensen was never.
Yeah, you asked the question. Let them answer the question, Deus. If you want to add something to the question, go ahead.
So yeah, what Rudiger when Rudiger was driving it up, someone had to do it, but it shouldn't have been the best option. Preferably, you would want that midfielder doing that, driving that ball, right?
100%. You're going.
So you'd want a player that actually is going to do something around the box. Hence, kind of the example I gave earlier. I don't know if you're listening. Conor Gallagher in pre-season has been doing that role, right? And then maybe if anyone's meant to drive it up, Jorginho should be driving it up. Not that it's in him to do it, right?
But in some circumstances, it should be allowed. It can happen.
Of course, it can happen. What I'm saying is when it should happen is when we are desperately chasing for a goal, and we need to throw more men up. But it shouldn't. But that comes with circumstance. It's not how you should be. It shouldn't be by design on how you start the game, right? So when it happens is when we need a goal. It's a draw, or we're losing, and we need to chase the game. And now, instead of having 5 people back, we're going to have 4, or we're only going to have 3 because we desperately need a goal. Who cares losing by 2 goals, right? Rather than 1. So we're throwing men at it, right? That's when you throw a defender up, right?
Yeah.
Just so you have more numbers there, right? But by system and by design, right? You don't want a defender driving the ball up, right? That's when it shouldn't be by design. It should be only by circumstances. Because every time Rudiger did go up, it was great because it was a good run. But then the guy he scored what 1 out of 18 shots or something. When he did score, it was crazy. But he doesn't. We don't want him shooting. It's not the player I want shooting. It's not the player I want there, right? So if we need to commit it, I'd rather if Jorginho had it in him to be up there rather than Rudiger. But because Jorginho didn't have it in him, right, and Rudiger found some space and he liked to do the runs, he's the guy that went forward.
Sorry, you're not done. Apologies.
No, that's basically the point I was getting at. Is it was circumstances that Rudiger did it. It shouldn't have been Rudiger did it. There's people in different roles that should have been the ones to do it rather than a centre back. So Tuchel is not looking for a profile of a person that can run. But that's when Kounde makes it interesting because the guy has midfielder playing skills, and if Kounde did it, for example, maybe Kounde's got a shot on him and a dribble on him as well, and also a pass on him. So if Kounde did it, then it's a different. Then it changes the whole thing. What I just said, because now you got a player that actually could probably do something in those positions, and then tactically you can actually, make that role for him. All right, Jorginho, you don't go up. Let Kounde go up. Do you know what I mean? But Rudiger, it was circumstances. It wasn't like Tuchel told him this is your role. When so and so happens and it's going to open up on your side, I want you to grab the ball and run. No, it was when we're desperate.
Yes, here's what I want to see. Here's how I want to say it is this: if the guys up front are doing as well as they're doing, if a defender is able to find a space, eat up the space and do something, I'll take it. But it just seemed as if our attacking players and midfield players don't exploit spaces when they see it. So that's why it's acceptable whenever Rudiger does it. But if our midfielders, they've always, been able to do it, and Rudiger does it every now and then, it's still also acceptable. It's not a bad thing, but it shouldn't be Rudiger shouldn't be the only one able to find spaces and eat it up. It's actually shameful to the midfielders and attackers.
Do you know what?
So you want to come in and tie quickly, and I'll get Rodrigo also to answer his question, so we can move on to the next topic, please. And I think he asked, Dios asked a very good question.
Yeah, and plus it looks like you predicted that Coachella, Inter gonna have extension talks with Skriniar, and the thing is with this, I don't really think he's looking for a profile like that. What Rudiger made of in terms of the defensive side of his game, other than pushing forward and trying to progress the ball forward, is that he had that aggression in him. He if he was out of position, he was able to do something smart to get back into position and make a tackle if needs be. The thing is, although Koulibaly is right-footed, he is used on the left because how good he is on the left. I think maybe Koulibaly has come in to probably play that role, but at the same time, also if it's necessary, he can play on the right. I think to say that he's looking for a profile like a Rudiger and a Christensen, I don't think that that's necessarily possible for him because he's not a scout. So I don't think he's going to be able to just find one like that. And I think, I mean, if you're talking about the player in Christensen, maybe it's easier to find somebody because what he was all about was focusing on the ball, trying to focus on the ball and not the player. And I guess that is something you can find in anybody. So I don't really think about that. But if you're talking about somebody who doesn't get scared and get cramps in the stomach, then I think it's pretty easy to find somebody like that though. So I don't think that's difficult. But I mean, Skriniar may get a contract extension if he accepts it. So I don't know. But we look like we're losing potential alternatives slowly.
Yeah, it's not. Again, I don't know how else to phrase it, but that's by the way. I want to, Rodrigo. Can you answer the Dale's question so we can move on to the next topic, please?
Yeah, in terms of like a Rudiger profile, when you play in a back three in the attacking phase, yes, you can afford to sort of like convert one of the centre backs into either left back or right back, because you can afford to let them go and underlap or overlap if they can. The wing back and the winger, because the winger can tuck in, play in the half space. The wing back can overlap, and then you have the centre back that underlap. Like you remember how Aspie always get into the half space and put a cross to the back post. So if you have a centre back that can do that, that's comfortable on the ball, that's comfortable delivering crosses, that's always good. So I think if you're gonna stick with a back three, you definitely need one of the centre backs to be athletic, that can run up and down, so that can allow you at times to sort of like switch in attacking phase to a back or two centre backs. So I see that. But in terms of the profile the players that we're going for, actually, I don't see any player that we've been linked to that's similar to Christensen. Maybe Pau Torres, I'd say. But I don't think the links are concrete. Rudiger, I think we've already replaced him with Koulibaly. I think they have one.
An even better option.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say that. I'd say it's better. Yeah. Well, let's not say that too soon. Let's see him play. But on paper, at least we can say he's.
You're really the panic bus driver plus the Thomas bus driver. But go ahead.
I want to temper your excitement. Just when I was told we're gonna sign a certain someone, I was so convinced. Yeah. So to answer Deals is gone. So it's probably got his answer now. So I don't need to answer this question further.
Yeah, but again, a good response there. But I'd say I don't think Thomas Tuchel will be looking for
like Christensen and Rudiger per se.
I think he'd be looking for something better, actually. Why do I say that? Yeah, these players were all good, but even when they were still there, we seem to struggle when oppositions press us aggressively. It's not like Andres Christensen isn't good on the ball, but being good on the ball alone isn't enough to beat the press. You have to master positioning.
And one more thing, he didn't give us anything in the box as well, like Christensen.
But at the time he showed he could do that. Maybe that aspect of his game comes down to the managers he's played on that. But that's, by the way, here's why I'm saying Thomas Tuchel will be looking for a different profile of players. The players we had, the defense we had before, except for Thiago Silva, and you can say he's good at that. But all this looks like I think in most cases I'm really. I've complained about their intelligence, their ability. We don't make runs. We don't make decisive runs. Runs doesn't have to be in the attacking area. Again, it runs in terms of opening up, creating passing lanes for your teammate. We're so predictable in terms of the positions where, our players stand and wait for the ball. For instance, Marcos Alonso is always hogging the line. In some cases, you should make moves towards the central area of the pitch to create an additional lane for the person that's holding the ball, because he's always waiting for it on the line. So my point is, in terms of the intelligence of creating passing lanes for for their teammates. I don't see that much in our defense. That's why when oppositions press us aggressively and we're still towards our own half, towards our own goalpost, we usually put the ball forward or make a mistake and lose the ball. I think Thomas Tuchel will be looking for players who has that intelligence, to move around. And watch Man City when they have the ball at the back. You see them moving, creating more passing lanes for themselves. But I think we're so static, and we're trying to pass the ball out from the back, but it's predictable. That was why Man City beat us home and away. They studied us and learned they can actually predict where we're going to pass the ball next because our players don't move that much. So again, I don't think he'd be looking for exact type of players. Maybe that changes for Andreas Christensen when he goes to Barcelona, and it looks like he's changed. But he's an intelligent player, quite all right. I don't know why he doesn't show that consistently. He didn't show that consistently at Chelsea. But that's by the way. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Let's just move to the next topic. And for the poll, which asks, which tells you more about the player, 56% says video. 44% says statistics, and yes, I should have added one more option there saying asking both.
With that poll,
why don't you learn? You never learn, Coutinho. You want?
I never learned. Yeah, and they're busy. Leon Lane and Just Viola were busy in the chat shaming me. But that's by the way. Go ahead, Ty. Rodrigo, sorry, you were saying something before Ty came in.
I was gonna say with the video, I watched Charles Darwin's video. I wasn't impressed. So it's not really about videos. I think sometimes.
How do you do yours? Do you do statistics? Do you prefer one of them, or do you prefer doing statistics and video too?
Especially for that one player, videos are meant to make you look good. But I watch his video comps. I was like, what? To Liverpool, I pay 80 million for Charles Darwin for these videos. So I watch the videos. And
Charles Darwin?
Yeah, the theory of evolution. You don't know him?
Go ahead. Oh my, go ahead, Rodrigo. You're killing me. But go ahead. I know you knew what you were doing. You just called him Charles Darwin. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I use both of them. I use video and stats. But stats is, I don't rely too much on stats. It's hard because like I think someone said you could only pass the ball once in a game. You have your 100% passing accuracy. Doesn't mean anything.
That's Baba Rahman, if you think about it. That's Baba Rahman.
Yeah, it's always good to watch games, I think, to watch the full game. Even if you watch 1 or 2 games, at least that gives you an idea. Yeah, ideally you want to watch at least 5 games. Home, away, different opponent. But if you watch 3 games of a player, you have an idea, I think, if you play 90 minutes.
Yeah. Ty, you want to add anything to that, or should I just move on to the next topic? We've been moving on to the next topic for the past 10 hours. But go ahead.
Yeah, you can move on to the next topic.
So,
I agree.
Thank you, Ty. And here's the next topic here. It says, Fikayo Tomori confirms negotiations ongoing to extend his contract with AC Milan. Yes, we're in talks, and I really like everything here in Milan. He tells somebody out there, some journalists or so. Again, if you're watching, we have 105 likes. Thank you so much for 105 likes. We still have 140 people watching. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. I see Rodrigo, if you don't know him too well, he knew exactly what he was doing. He intentionally called him Charles Darwin. So yeah, but that was hilarious though. Again, keep liking the video, guys, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Now, I want to start by asking, do we have a buyback clause in its contract?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
The one player that we had to put a buyback clause on, we didn't. We put buyback clause on a certain striker that I don't think we'll ever buy him back.
So, which to me, I think he wouldn't want to come back to the club because he will feel like the club doesn't value him. Let's start with you, Declan. Your thoughts on this? The fact we don't have a buyback clause on the Fikayo Tomori's sale to AC Milan.
You can't put a buyback clause just because you want it. Do you know what I mean? Or just because the club wants it. Is what I was trying to say.
Please educate us on that.
Yeah. So if the club's condition is a buyback clause and the player is happy with that too, because they can see themselves coming back as well. Then and then you have to offer a lower fee because you have that buyback clause, right? Then that's all in agreement, right? But I think the way Tomori left, I think he didn't want it. I think AC Milan didn't want it, right? Because AC Milan are grabbing a talent that is going to worth a lot more. They don't want Chelsea to be able to come and grab him whenever they want for you know a certain fee. They want to get him for the long term. That's how that went. I think that it wasn't up to Chelsea. I think Chelsea wanted to put a buyback clause. I think he didn't want it. AC Milan didn't want to do it. I think he just wanted to go.
So you're saying before that can be done, before you be able to add a buyback clause on the contract when selling a player, on our agreement, because this time it's not a contract, when selling a player, all parties involved would have to agree.
Yeah, because a buyback clause can hinder someone's move, right? And then you would have to offer a lower deal. Yeah, so basically when you're putting a buyback clause, a club feels that they'll only come in for him, you know, if he does really well, right? And then a club will be happy if they got, say, 50 mil for him. We sold him for 20, and then the buyback clause was 50 mil. And AC Milan like, yeah, we get 50 mil, we'll be over the moon with that money, right? Especially if it's like a 1 year, 2 year buyback clause, where they turn around. If you turn around, they made that quick money, then they're happy with it. But they might not want that. They might want a player that's going to come in and stay for the long term. You know, and it's not about the quick money. They don't want the disruptions. And then Tomori doesn't want to come back. He wants just that full release. So there's a lot that comes with buyback clauses. If Tomori didn't want to come back, right? He's been here. He didn't like the situation. Probably saw Lampard staying here longer than he thought he would. Then maybe he didn't want it.
I'm really, really pissed right now because look how well he's done. And I think who was one of the? I think it was Maldini, the Spanish international, the Spanish legend. I think he traveled to England too, and he saw the quality in the player. This guy's ability on the ball. I think he was so poorly treated by Lampard, even if you don't want him. Because he was everything until we had the money to start bringing in players.
Wanted to leave.
Sorry, go ahead, Ty. What did you say?
He wanted to leave. He was not.
Yeah, because why did he want to leave? Because he felt like he wasn't wanted anymore. I understand he wanted to leave, but what led to him wanting to leave? That's the question.
What was he not wanted? What was he not wanted? Because all this is just assumption, you know.
Declare, can you come in? Does it look like Lampard wanted him then?
No.
No, I've seen something happen there. They're falling out.
Exactly, because
made
They
promises.
fell out too. Yeah, that's part of the whole thing. He didn't just want to leave.
We can only assume because remember he was at Derby with him on loan, and then when Lampard came to Chelsea, Tomori was one of the defenders that he looked towards. And then after Project Restart started, we never saw Tomori ever again. So something had to have happened between that. So and then he wanted to leave because managers won't say that. Oh, I wanted him to go on, but he said that he wanted to keep him, but Tomori wanted to go elsewhere where he could get game time. So he didn't do anything. The thing is that they put a option to buy in into the contract. Or the negotiations with AC Milan. And I mean, obviously, like you said, Maldini is at AC Milan as well. So he probably would have said that, okay, this player. And I mean, having a player like Maldini.
Because he saw the talent.
Yeah, so having an ex-player like Maldini, who's known for what he did, I mean, obviously, it would be a plus. And Tomori even said it, that, you know, he was overwhelmed to know that Maldini believes that he's that good and he can improve. But I mean, Tomori is just going to be one like those those players that we develop, and they go and have a good career. Good for him. That's good for him. I mean, yes, we want to be able to be selfish like that. I mean, there's not one for Tomori, but at least there's one for Guhi and Livramento, and you never know. I mean, for me, Tomori and Koulibaly would look nice, like I see somebody saying.
He's quick. He's good on the ball. He can defend too. Yeah, and I remember that game. Was it against Bali? They pulled his shirt, and I think he stood for a while complaining to the referee. And when he saw the referee didn't give the foul, he was able to accelerate and meet up with the Bali attacker who already started running before him and stopped him from scoring against us. That's how quick this guy he is. And again, that brings to mind what you just said about how what's his name? Again, what's the Italian legend again?
Maldini.
Sorry, somebody help me, please. I'm so pissed now. I'm losing my mind. Maldini saw it. That brings and followed it and made sure they got him. Do we have the start ball? Is it planning to have such people? Maybe that's the reason why some players are not even listening to us. We should involve Chelsea, like somebody like John Terry, old names of GDA Drogba. Give them some money. Let them get involved in talking to these players, even if you have to pay them. Pay them.
Don't worry, we'll find out what happens.
By the way, that's another thing altogether. I'm really not happy the fact we didn't put a buyback clause, which means we didn't rate him, and that begs the question: would he even consider coming back to Chelsea, even if we want him? Ty, tell me, are you happy that we don't have a buyback clause on his contract?
Honestly, I'm not happy and I'm not unhappy. I'm looking at how it benefits him. I mean, I'm looking at how it benefits him. He's going to a club.
Oh my God, you're never gonna kill me.
But I can't be happy and I can't be unhappy because I'm happy for him. I'm not happy that he's gone, but I'm happy for him because he can go elsewhere and make a name for himself with the aid of having a Maldini who believes in him, and that's good. That's good for morale for him. He will build up his confidence and he'll make him a good defender. And plus, how a lot of fans will say that, look at that, he came from our academy and look at what we will take credit for it. I mean, fans will take credit of it, even though he was not well. We helped him, and then he was promoted, and then we well into it. I mean, we have to, for me, it's the brutal truth. But the way that the structure is set up at Chelsea, we can't have a lot of youth players coming through. The structure, the philosophy that we have is that you bring in probably 2 youth players every 2 seasons, which I think is foolish. And then you sign players. That's how it's always been. Maybe before Roman Abramovich, probably the structure would have been different. It could have worked because I know the history of it all, where we had to use some of the academy players to help us, from division to division and things like that. So I think maybe if the structure was different, maybe it could have been easy. But I mean, for me, I just look at the fact that Tomori is going to have an excellent career, and AC Milan value him very highly. I mean, yes, for Chelsea fans, it would have been nice to have that advantage of calling him back. But hey, we could go back for Guhi because we have
a player who's Chelsea through and through. Look at how difficult we're finding it to get our transfer targets. But go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you could go for more Guhi in the future if he continues, because there's a buyback clause for him. So there's always a positive, and I mean, I think they offered him a small contract too. So I think they're trying to extend with him, and there's nothing.
But beyond that, I still can't go. I'm happy, and I'm not. I forgot how you phrased it. But do you value him really? Do you value Tomori?
Yeah, but I value him, and I was hoping would have said, because I mean, he had mistakes in him, but you could see that though if he got the proper management. And I don't really think it's fair to really. I'm not taking a dig at Lampard, but we all know that Lampard was not the greatest of setting up a defense. The attack, we attacked very, very beautifully under Lampard. We did, and that's understandable because he was an attacker, so he knows how to set up teams in terms of attacking. But when it came
but we couldn't defend.
Yeah, in terms of defending, I really can't judge him because we even made Silva look like he was a bad defender on the Lampard. So I mean, in that sense, he barely played. I think he played only one game, and that was just before Lampard was sacked, and then he left. So I mean, I valued him, and I think he was going to be an excellent defender at the club. But I mean, like I said, I'm happy for him. If he's gone elsewhere. He's gone to AC Milan. They value him highly. And he won a Scudetto. I mean, if he came to Chelsea, I'm not really sure if we could have gotten him the chance to be making a name for himself in that way. So it's good for him, man. I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm not happy that he got sold, but I'm not like unhappy that he's gone. Like, oh, we should have put a buyback clause, because at the end of the day, he's in an environment that he loves. So I'm gonna look at the fact that
I'm not. Listen, if he left. Usually, I think Declan explained something that made sense. If he left on a good note, like, okay, we have other centre backs in the club that you could argue, or at that point were better than him, and him leaving alone.
I look at that and I understand that not in the beginning.
Yeah, and then if he left on a good note, then maybe he'd agree. Okay, maybe let me go show you that I can do it, and maybe you buy me back later on. But Declan just explained what Declan just explained, and the way he left, and the fact that he fell out with Frank Lampard means again, I don't think he wants to come back. But that's me, Tyrant. If I want to bring in Rodrigo, finish bring in Rodrigo, and then I'll go back to Declan again and ask him a question. Go ahead, brother.
It's one sentence. So basically, in terms of that, I mean, with Tomori, in the beginning, I was extremely pissed. When I heard I was going to be leaving in that January window, I was like, why are we going to loan him out with an option to buy when we don't? The only defender that looked promising was Silva. Zuma was starting to make mistakes. Rudiger and Christensen was barely playing. They were rotational centre backs. I mean, like, why was he? And even when Zuma was not doing good, I was like, why is Tomori not? Where's Tomori? Is Tomori having personal issues? So he's not being. He was not even on the bench. That's the thing. He was never on the bench in some games. So I was wondering what was happening with him. But I mean, I'm happy for him, man. If he's an AC Milan, value him. He could stay there for the entirety of his career. So good luck to him.
Even when he was on loan there, he was averaging. I think it was around 71 points per game rating. It was that good. But that's, by the way, again, I want to say quickly, let me catch up with the chat quickly. And I want to tell Just Viola, you and I are actually fighting. You and Glenn, you guys are both shaming me in public, but I'll be all right. I'm just kidding anyway. You know that. Says, again, my screen is freezing again. What the heck is going on here? I don't like this when it happens. Let me see. Quickly. Yes, Just Viola, you and Liam Lane, you guys are colluding and shaming me in public. Milan needed someone to replace okay, I'm not going to try pronouncing that name.
Yeah. and he surpassed Romagnoli, right? Is that his name? Romagnoli. He was starting over Romagnoli.
Romagnoli, yeah.
Yeah, he was injured, and Tomori did really well, and the rest is history. They got him just to replace the player because that player was injured, and he did very well. Lampard thought the guy that kicks cats was better. I'm not going to go into that. Kimpembe said no to Chelsea. Again, we've always known that he was torn between remaining at the club or leaving. Again, it just seemed as many of the players we've been linked with, they all used this to get a better deal in new contracts or something like that. Tomori will be the Black Maldini. Again, maybe say another Maldini, or forget to remove the color from it because it sounds somehow, I have to be honest with you. A back three, that's another word. Some KKK sounds like something else to me. So maybe find another way to phrase it. Tomori is Maldini. What? Phantom. No. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, brother. But by the way, if you haven't, go check out Phantom's channel and make sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Thank you, Lampard. Indeed, thank him for that. No, Lampard is to blame. No, Tomori don't want to leave. He is happy at Milan. I'm seeing that, which is talking about the questions to panel. Do you think players are hesitating to come to Chelsea because they believe the club is not stable under new ownership. But before we go on to that one, Rodrigo, I want to get you to talk on to Tomori. Then we'll start by this comment. Even though I'm fighting with just Viola and Liam Lane for shaming me in public, we'll still talk about it anyway. Can you talk about the Tomori situation? Let me know if you value him.
Yeah, I think this was probably one of Lampard's biggest mistakes. This guy was his player of the season at Derby. I think he was player of the season. It wasn't Mason Mount, it was Tomori. And he was doing all right in that first season. I know we conceded 54 goals in that first season, but Tomori was the shining light in that first in the defense. So I don't know. He was just like, we don't know what exactly happened between them. Maybe the guy wasn't training well, or maybe the manager just didn't fancy him. Because again, Lampard fell out with quite a few players, so we don't know what happened between them. It was a mistake to let him go.
I think he's a poor man manager. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. I think his relationship with the players wasn't really good. I think it was a mistake not putting if what the Declare say that we did try to put a buyback clause, but Tomori didn't fancy coming back. Then that just tells you he just felt like.
I think if we had the buyback clause, you'd be hearing a lot of the people in the community calling for the club to go get him, because it would have been an easier thing to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I feel like the way he left, probably like he burned all the bridges with Chelsea. So he doesn't want anything to do with us anymore. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that one of the academy boys is doing really well and he's valued at a big team in Europe. I'm glad he's at AC Milan. He would have hurt more if he was playing for a rival in the Premier League. I don't have issue selling our prospect abroad. So that the only time they can hurt us if we play them in the Champions League. But for me, watching De Bruyne week in and week out for all these years is so painful. So at least this one is not here.
I think his case is different because he wanted to leave 2+. I think his case is different.
Yeah, the Bruyne one is different, but it's just that the fact that you had this player in your ranks and you've seen him become this beast at your rival. At least this one, yes, he's at AC Milan, and I hope he stays there for many years. I don't want him to come back to. If you come back to this league, when he's improved, when he's a better defender, I want him to come back to us, but not to a rival. No way.
Yeah, I want to come back, but before I do that, I want to get what Ty is saying. I will come back to this comment here. I'll come back to you, Ty, and I want to get the Clad's thought overall on the Tomori situation, because it is in fact a situation, one that I know will piss off all the Chelsea fan base by the time they find out that again we don't even have a buyback clause on the contract. Says again, Teslim Wasil says, but it was Lampard that brought him to Chelsea first team. But what happened then?
Jody Morris, not Lampard. Jody
Morris. Okay, you're hearing that yourself, Teslim. But again, I've read that. I am a Tomori stay at Milan. I think he's just maybe if I don't know. It's your choice. Imagine a Tomori Koulibaly combo. It would have been nice because he has pace and he's good on the ball too. Lampard treated Tomori very badly, and as good as ran him out of the club. I think that's the best way to phrase it. And by the way, Leanne, you and I are fighting. You and I and Josh Viola are fighting. You guys, colluded to shame me in public, but I'll be fine. Maybe I'll find somebody that supports me there. Imagine Rudy Tomori too. Good combo too. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Still mad about Tomori leaving. Good morning from the US. Good morning to you, Coach Chris. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us. Again, we have 129 people watching and we have 114 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. Chelsea should have done a buyback deal. Yep, Rahman, I think so as well. And this is a very good initial there. I think Rahman, that DP there is A on all. That looks very beautiful. I like it. Thank you very much for that. Baresi, Frank, was that the name I was thinking for? No, I can't. Declad, Ty, say what you want to say so I can bring Declad in to give us his thoughts on the Tomori situation so we can move on. Ty, I thought you wanted to add something.
Yeah, I wanted to say at least it's good that we do have a buyback because Barcelona probably would have tried to hijack it too.
Are you scared of them now? Oh my goodness, Declan, let us know what you think on the Tomori situation. Do you rate him? Are you happy that we don't? Again, I know you've explained why maybe we weren't able to insert a buyback clause on his contract. Are you happy that that happened? And do you rate the player?
I do rate the player, but he might. There is a little. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, I think because he's gone, everyone's saying it." But there's a chance that he might not have been as good for Chelsea as people think. It's very unknown. Just because he's doing really well in the Serie A, that's a level down, to be honest. So we're not. I feel that he probably would have done well, but he might have not. So there is no guarantee. And for everyone saying that, the club is dumb for not putting a buyback clause. I'm sure the club wanted to put a buyback clause, but not everyone wants a buyback clause, and it's not as easy. It's not only if the club decides to put a buyback clause. I mean, everyone has to be in agreement for a buyback clause. So it's not the club's fault for not having a buyback clause, right? So anyone that wants to think that, to try to put it on the club, it could have came down to Tomori himself. He didn't want to come back, or he didn't want the option. Like if Chelsea were going to come in, they would have had to come in for big money to get Tomori back. And circumstances would have to change. So there's a lot of ifs and buts, and we got some money for him, which is good. We didn't lose him on a free or anything. We got something for him, and let him go play out his career. And there's no guarantees that he would be the best for us. So I'm not sure. I think people are just because we're not in the best of situations. But I think what was bad is that we sold him. We sold Gehi. These two players could have solved our centre back issue that we had from last season through injuries, and now that now players are less. Sorry?
That we have now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we actually had players in our hand that could have solved our issue. I mean, players not signing contracts. Why do we let him leave? And it was all to bring Lukaku in. So that's the sad part about it. It was all to balance the book to bring a $100 million striker in. Really bad decision.
Yeah, again, it was indeed a bad decision. We need to really get a handle on this managers falling out with players, then leaving it. That's why we're in this position today. You could argue that too. I hope I see Broya. Broya, I think, will stay. West Ham, who was the club that was pressing really hard to get his signature. They've moved on. They signed Skamaka, and I think he stays, and I think he will do well.
No, they still want him. They still want him. They still want
him to, but I think we'll sell him. I don't think we'll sell him, except if we see us sign another attacker, then we may sell him.
Especially as Werner is leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with Werner pushing to leave. Paolo Maldini's son Daniel also plays for AC Milan. Three generations. His father did too. Yep. Again, Tomori is okay. Is good, but remain well. Okay. Thank you for that comment. Maldini's son is garbage. A reputation does go a long way, but it can only take you so far. The Warrior, if Tomori is Lampard's fault, then whose fault is letting De Bruyne and Salah leave? Okay. Jonathan Davis would be good. Again, it's a short time until we look for. I think Jonathan Davis wouldn't actually be short time. I think it's good enough. Probably will fit into Thomas Tuchel's style of play. If you ask me, I think Lukaku created a negative atmosphere. The way he forced his move. That may well be the case. Tomori is a Chelsea-born player. If we come in the future, he will come. Maybe we'll see. Again, why are you blaming Frank Lampard for Tomori? Frank Lampard loved Chelsea FC youth players because he believes in youth players. Lampard bring on Tomo Abraham, because He didn't. We're on the transfer ban then,
You
and
need
what
to
happened
watch
after
the
the
interview
ban
with
was
Gary
lifted?
Neville.
Sorry.
People need to watch the interview with Gary Neville that Lampard did to get an
What
outline
did
of
he
what he
say?
did at Chelsea. Basically, when he looked at the situation and said, "Oh, Chelsea have a transfer ban," he said he didn't know what to do, and then he said what Marina and Bruce Buck and Pedicek said to him is that we don't expect you to win the league, but we don't want to get relegated. And then Jody Morris, who was his assistant at the time from Derby, said that why not utilize the youth players? That's what he said. This is not my words. Lampard said this. So maybe he likes them, but at the same time, he didn't know what to do. It was not at the front seat of his mind. Okay, let's use youth players. Jody Morris advised him, and that is why as the season progressed, we kept introducing new ones. So Lamptey, then eventually, well, I think Angerin was introduced, or was it no? Matheson was introduced against Grimsby Town. Reece James was, he was introduced as well. Then it went on, Angerin came in, Broha was introduced. So it was down to Jody Morris as well. So people are giving credit to Lampard only, but it was actually Jody Morris as well who said that give these players a chance because they look good, because he was working alongside the academy project as well.
For a long time, yeah.
Here's the thing. If you paid attention to what happened when the transfer ban was lifted, when he started bringing in players, we started seeing less and less of the academy players.
That's the
and
point,
Lampard
and that's
himself, he didn't want to tarnish his legacy at Chelsea. He knew that before time, becoming a Chelsea manager is a huge risk. If he had the opportunity, you'd question even if Mason Mount would have seen much game time under him if it wasn't for the transfer ban. You have to consider those things. Even Tammy Abraham, we started seeing less and less of him the time Lampard, we started seeing new signings. But I really don't want to go into that argument. But Ty, thank you very much for telling us about that. It's him who said it. He had to use them. It wasn't by design. Circumstances forced him to use many youth players. But that's, by the way, I hope they put the buyback clause on from Buyamba. I think they will, because he's a good talent. Hello, coach. Your stream is one of the best, because you give time to read the most chats and not only super chats. Well done, bro. Please, people, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, AD Love for Blue, for saying that. Again, yes, 118 people watching and 116 likes. Thank you for 100 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. Chelsea focusing on Leicester City's Fofana over Skriniar. Again, it depends on who's available. And Ty did say something about Milan preparing to extend Skriniar's stay at the club.
City, the reason why Leicester City haven't signed anybody because they have to sell to buy. So that is why Fofana is up for grabs, because although he has a 5-year contract still, they have to sell so that they can buy. They're like a Barcelona, but Barcelona actually have money to do things. They just need to sell to release.
Yeah, but they're gonna fleece us for every single.
Well, we can give them the Milan star, give them the best left back and left centre back in the whole Premier League. Milan star, simple stuff. Or can give them Levi Cole, but they want the Levi Cole, so that's what.
Yeah, I'm guessing what Phantom is seeking here. Do we have? I think Zuma doesn't have a buyback clause, but I'm not too worried about Zuma's case either. I gave up on him even before he left Chelsea, even though I liked him to a certain extent, but I don't know. I just can't. It's something I don't want to explain right now. Does anybody know if we have a buyback clause on there? I don't think we do.
No, we just
sent Lukaku. Sorry?
He was just sold completely. No buyback.
Yeah, he was sold, yeah. Inter Milan sent Lukaku on the top of secret mission. That may well be the case. I don't want to get into that. Why, Smith David, how are you doing, brother? I haven't seen you for a while. Why is that Italian club don't buy players from Premier League? All you hear is loan, because it's a way for them to get the player on the cheap.
Yeah,
they know how to play the game quite well. You wanted to say something, Rodrigo?
Yeah, it's about salaries. It's also about the economy. If you look at the economy of Italy, and yeah, it's not as strong as the UK. So they can't afford to be paying these players ridiculous salaries that we do here in England.
Yep, I heard this aspect too. I know the entire story with Tom. Sorry?
I said it's not just the wages; it's a step down. Like, how are you going to bring someone that plays in the Premier League to the Italian League? Unless they have failed in the Premier
So
League.
you're saying in most cases the players don't agree?
You see what Phantom is saying right here. This just opens up a new realm of discussion, which you cannot do.
Yeah, he says, I know the entire story with Tomori. Marina sent him to West Ham alone. He agreed but pulled out because I think he wanted to prove himself at Chelsea. Marina ordered Lampard not to play Tomori to set example. Really?
And this is one of the reasons why I question when the Telegraph came out after Lampard sacked and saying he fell out with Marina and things like that. I was wondering, these things are they connected? Because we started to see youth players be used less. And I'm wondering if Marina was looking at it as okay, let's try to get some money off these youth players. You can keep some of them. And then that's what I'm saying, because we saw them being used less. So I'm wondering if it's a case where youth players should be used less, and then we start buying. I don't know, because this is why
that could be the case. Maybe like it's like a window shopping. Like we put all the players in. We put them in that season. It was just like, let's advertise all our youth players.
Yeah, and then we sold them, and that's what we did. That's what we did. We sold what's his name? Lamptey only played one game against Arsenal, and he was sold. But Tomori sold. Tammy Abraham sold. Well, this reason why Tammy Abraham left still, but Tammy was sold as well. Broha was close to getting sold. So all these things, it seems as if the club looked at it as a way of, okay, we got top forward these players. Let's see if we can get some money, because clubs will be attracted to them because of what they helped us to do to achieve before. So that is why I don't really blame Lampard entirely for this, because we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And this is what the Telegraph won't tell you. They won't tell you the deep delve. They'll say that he didn't speak to Marina for months. He didn't speak to Alonso for months. Some players were not spoken to for months. They don't tell you the full story. They just tell you what you want to know, because that's what they do. When somebody's sacked, they always give the negative. They don't show the positive. They don't show where maybe the manager tried his best to serve or to save some of these players from getting sold. You never know, because they don't tell you these things. So this is why I question when Marina and him fell. Oh, we never found out why. It was just that he fell out with Petr Cech. He fell out with Marina. We didn't find out why. So I don't know, man.
This says Chelsea are beaten to Jules Kounde by Barcelona at size. A Greek deal worth over 46 million for the Sevilla star, with a Blues blocking sell of Azpilicueta and Alonso as war between the clubs go on. Tell us more, your source and everything. I want to see that. Wait, is that true? What Phantom just said? It sounds again, it's believable, but I heard that he fell out with Frank Lampard. I heard that he'd already agreed to join. Was it West Ham on loan, but pulled out? I heard those things, but the part that I haven't heard before was that Frank Lampard was ordered not to play him. I don't think that makes sense. AC Marina wanted to punish Tomori for backing out the last moment. That may well be the case. I don't know. Now, Tomori was out of the squad after January 2020. He fell out with Lampard 100%. Pedro Neves, yes, we had that too. I remember. It didn't cross my head at the moment. Again, Livramento, Lamptey, and Tammy were all entering final year of contract and refused to extend. So those are isolated cases because they wanted to leave, and the club had no option to sell them. Otherwise, they'd run down their contract and leave on a free. So we must mention that those cases or isolated cases. Again, we have to be truthful about that. Lamptey and Tino were sold because they had, that's the truth. I think I've read that, Kobe. Limitless. It was a Phantom there when they had the conversation. Again, we can only speculate, but I guess the question, that's why Zuma ended up at West Ham there instead the next year. Now, let's move on to this here. And I want to start with you, Declan, if you're still with us. From the point of the house that says, question to panel: do you think our players are hesitating to come to Chelsea because they believe the club is not stable under the new ownership?
It wouldn't be stability. It would be the unknown. So players
I think the
knew
unknown is
that.
better phrase, but go ahead.
Yeah, because under Abramovich and there's been a decade of it, that if we weren't winning, that big changes will happen, and it was all about winning, and players like that too, because players know we're going for trophies, and something will change.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? That club will do something about it, not stay stagnated and little changes and whatnot. So there is that. They knew that about Chelsea. They knew that if something wasn't working, they'll bring players in, and it'll be all about winning. Now with this new owner, you don't know. You don't know if Boehly is going to invest as much. Do you know what I mean? It is a really unknown. You don't know. Maybe Boehly's going to turn out like the Kroenkes and other American owners who have and players could see that, and they don't want to be maybe associated with that. Well, they think that that's what's going to happen. So maybe it'll take some seasons before they realise, with Boehly throwing big money in, because it's not just Boehly, it's a consortium. And every consortium, they're investors. So if they're looking for profits, we have to show them. They're probably here for their money. So we're not sure. We're not sure how we're going to be run. We're not even sure. We speculated so much on different owners. All I knew, right, the only thing I could go at was that I felt that Boehly wanted to have a good first season, right, and the consortium as well, and that they were going to throw money at it. But we've really dissected this team after this season. We went from people predicting that we're going to win the league to now full rebuild. To both extremes. We went from people thinking that we're going to win the league, right, with Lukaku additional, solving our major problem, to now really dissecting almost every single area: midfield, wing backs, attackers, defense. We've gone from that to rebuild at the moment, and that's going to take not just this window, but maybe 2-3 windows to solve, right? And do people believe? We're even questioning: is Boehly actually going to invest enough to fix that problem? We're not even sure. We're experiencing. Is this the second month? 2 months of Boehly. That's about it, and consortium. So we're not even sure. If we're not even sure, how can new players be sure? How could they be sold? How can they be sold on a project that is a very unknown? And like you said, I mean that's why a director of football is important in this setup, because a director of football can sell his idea and how we're going to go forward. Because that's his job. That's his job, to have that a big plan. And that's his role. He's not going anywhere, so he can sell that a bit better, because that's what he's hired to do. And that goes to show that's the club showing everyone else that we have someone and we're taking a direction with it. Right now, it looks like we're just going in for anyone. We're after so many. We just need players in. We're after so many different players. They might not even be the best player that Tuchel wanted, but we're just trying to get someone in. So it does look scattering. We're scattered all over the place, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, Rodrigo, how about you? Your thoughts on that input by, here's it. Let me highlight it for you again from Just Viola.
I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on and claim there is a conspiracy. Maybe these journalists, what they're doing is to troll the Chelsea fans. They'll link with a player. And then
so you're not just driving the panic bus, you're also driving the conspiracy bus.
And they know for a fact.
I think they go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah. They know for a fact this player is not gonna come to Chelsea to mock us. They'll say, "Oh, he rejected Chelsea. What they'll do? They'll recycle again. Right? Let's pick another name out of the hat. Right? We pick Kimpembe. We know for a fact he's not coming. After linking. Few days later, he's not coming to Chelsea. So just we look ridiculous. But I agree with everything like Declare said. It's mostly about uncertainty. Football career is a short career. You can't just join Chelsea. We as fans, obviously we want these players to come in and join us, but if you think about it, it's like you go into a new company, you don't know the culture of the company, you don't know how this company is going to work out, especially if you settle. That's if you have these players that settle down in the current clubs. That's why so far we've only signed players that only have 1 year left in the contract. Because now if you want to sign a player that has many years left on his contract and they settle in the club, it's a bit difficult for them to move to a club where there's a lot of uncertainty. Earlier, I thought, maybe the players were scared of the name Chelsea linked with the war and everything, the PR nightmare. But obviously now the club has changed ownership, so all of that concern shouldn't be there. That should be gone. But it's just that uncertainty. I agree with Declare. That's really it. And obviously, if you follow my conspiracy, maybe we're actually not in for all these players. It's just journalists trying to link us to these players, so they can say they rejected us, so they can all laugh at us. That's it.
Ty, I want to get your thoughts before I bring in IBZ. You want to see the comment again, or you saw it already?
Yeah, I would like to see it again.
Okay, here's the comment right here from Just Viola. I wanted to say it's a delicious comment, but Just Viola and I are fighting. But just go ahead.
Okay. Honestly, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily that they're hesitating to sell first because of the structure. Yes, it's a new structure. Yes, they don't know if they can get the same amount of money that they could have possibly seen themselves earning if it was Roman Abramovich. I don't think so. I think it's maybe that Rodrigo was trying to say that these journalists are probably just trying to get our hopes up, and then in the last stage, even they know that the club probably doesn't have a chance, just so they can shatter our hearts. The media really hates us. The media always hates us, and I mean, I can even remember from years ago when Makelele, for example. No, Makelele is not going to be joining Chelsea. He's going to be staying at Real Madrid for 1 more year, and then days after that, you hear Makelele is coming to Chelsea. I mean, and there's other examples you can use. No, he's not coming to Chelsea. A couple of days later, you see him rolling up the shirt and he's with whatever manager it is. I think it's just a case where the media is just trying to link us to all players possible. I'm surprised we're not linked with signing back Papi Giobogi yet. I'm surprised because we're being linked with everybody. And then the next few days we hear that
I don't want that one. Go ahead, Ty.
Extending. Kimpembe does not want to leave. He doesn't want to go to Chelsea. He wants to stay at PSG. A couple of days later, Chelsea are still waiting on a response from PSG after making a 55 million bid for Kimpembe. The player is open to joining. So first he doesn't want to join, and then he wants to join. Then we're hearing Kounde does not want to come to Chelsea. He's waiting for Barcelona. A couple of days later, you hear, Kounde is open to both teams. It's all over the place. I think and I always say this: you need to take every report you see with a pinch of salt. Because we're being linked with a lot of defenders. Some people are linking us to them, some aren't linking us. We're hearing that we're linked with what's his name? The defender you have on the thumbnail. I don't remember his name and I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to try to. Nobody else, not many people have said that we are. And that's the thing. Maybe these are the targets we're looking at. Maybe he's one of them. And these reporters just don't know. And the ones that we're being linked with are the ones we're not going to sign. Because that's what's always happened. Every window we're linked with Coutinho, we're linked with Neymar, we're linked with Ronaldo. And then the ones that we sign are actually ones that we're not really being spoken about. Sterling, we only heard about the Sterling links in June. We were linked with other players as well. Osimhen has said he wants to join Chelsea after saying he looks up to Drogba. I know.
Yeah, let him stay where he is.
And I know we're hearing that, Osimhen says he looks up to Drogba and Kane. Osimhen wants to join Spurs. So based on what a player says, and it's the same thing with Fofana. Fofana says one of the clubs he'd be open to joining in if he could is Chelsea, along with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool. Fofana is open to joining Chelsea. So I think people need to understand that maybe these players are simply they just don't want to come to the club because they want immediate success. De Ligt wanted to go to Bayern Munich. He's guaranteed to win something because Bayern Munich are practically make what people call the Bundesliga a Formers League, winning it years after years. Although they're getting competition now, they're trying to build something. Leverkusen is still around. RB Leipzig is still around. But I mean, I think these players just simply just look at the situation and say, okay, I can go to Man City because Man City win the league nearly every year, so I might as well go there. Calvin Phillips, an example. Rafinha goes to Barcelona. The structure, the history that they have. I just think that maybe it's just a case where we're dealing with these players, and these players just simply don't want to come because of the fact that they see other projects and say that, okay, I can go there and win immediately. Because people want immediate success. These young players just want things no. And that's because of how the world has advanced to. There used to be a time where you had to buy gas. And nowadays you're having electrical cars where all you need to do is just charge them up and you can drive them. I mean, it's the world is going to something where it's technologically advanced. So people will eventually say, oh, I need to go to the supermarket. You may hear that, oh, drones are going to carry food to you. So the world is becoming so advanced that you don't need to wait for anything. So people are going to be like, oh, I want things no. So that is the case for me that I say that these players just look at the fact that I can get immediate success now and I can just join this club and I'm guaranteed to win something with great significance. That is what I think. I don't know about everybody else. I just think that's the case.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ty. Again, I want to bring in IBC in a bit to let us know what he thinks about the comment, and we have the final topic to deal with, and we'll call it a day. We are seriously in trouble now. You can say I'm not happy right now. It seems we don't. It seems we don't have a structure. Assuming this after the end of last season, we should be able to identify the positions we need. Even if we did that, there are restrictions in place that's been, proven to be problematic for us. But that's, by the way, says stop selling talents, make them grow instead. We can't keep them all. A lot of players graduate every year from the academy, and it's difficult. Yeah, I'm not sure how often, but it's difficult to keep them all. That's my overall point. Barca doesn't guarantee immediate success. They cannot even register players. The future of the club is uncertain. You could argue that right now, but they always find a way. We're not in trouble. Keep calm. We have a lead coach in TT. Let's have it right. Again, that spells, brother spells have like it's Nigerian. Copy my Nigerian brother. Let me be specific there. Frank Oba, nice to see you here. One day he says, Chelsea only need a creative and tactical smart midfielder, not number 10, he says, and a clinical long-range shooter in a striker, number 9, and maybe one more defender. We'll see what Tuchel wants. Thanks for the reply, panel. So that could well be the case with Kounde and all the players. Yeah, that's the truth. Fine, I get that players have a say, but we did not show any fight for Kounde. I disagree. I think it was Sevilla delaying things to see if they'd get money out of it, or if they see the sense that we're desperate, which was the same thing they did a summer ago when we tried to sign the player. They moved to the goalpost. I think they tried to do the same thing right now, but it hasn't really worked because we're not stupid. If we give them what they want, then other clubs, we want more than one defender. We'll better be prepared to do the same when we go to talk to other clubs. Again, that's, by the way, says Declan. Okay, just talking to Declan there. Sterling will be Chelsea number 9 or not? I don't think he plays as number 9. I think he plays on the flanks. But every now and then I see Thomas Tuchel play him as a false 9 because he's shown that he can also execute that role. Also, again, Isis says, now I will not grow talents. We keep staying this. Okay, saying this BS. We need the best youngsters. Not all of them. We're not a couple. Again, that's the truth. Not all of them. Again, we only keep a few. They're all not exceptional talents. But that's, by the way, coming back. IBC. Here's where I want to get to comment from. Then we can move to the final topic and round up the show. This one right here.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it for you, or can you see it?
No, I see it. It's like what I've been saying as well, isn't it? Like, but it's not. It's. I don't think it's the players. Because players are professional anyway. I don't think the fact that there's no director of football, sporting director, kind of hinders that a lot. But it plays a part.
Mm-hmm.
It plays a part. It plays a huge part. But I think when you don't have a director of football or a technical director in place, you don't have someone that speaks in football terms on behalf of the owner or on behalf of the club culture.
And also somebody that understand the transfer market politics, because what I would like to know, politics is involved.
The politics is definitely involved. So whether it be battling with other teams, going into a transfer saga, hijacking deals, using players for swap deals, loans, what have you. The best people in place for that is a sporting director, be it a director of football or technical director, if not both. In this day and age, with maybe you could get away with it back in the days without a lot of outside influence and outside insiding of what's going on. But with how things are with social media, with a lot of inside information probably getting leaked out, rumours, a director of football and sporting director are the best people in place to shut those down, to get things done, and not allow the circus to influence the inside dynamics of what's going on. So this Kounde situation, it's probably been rocking the Clare Lake and Todd Boehly consortium as well, because they're thinking, I'm trying to say they're probably reading into reports and, is this true? And obviously they know what the real is because they've just been told firsthand with Sevilla. We're not privy to the conversation. We can only go off what these journalists say, right or wrong. But directors of football will probably, in my opinion, will be in place to make sure that these things are ironed out very in place. So all these medias and journalists won't be asking stupid questions and putting stupid in the air. So back to what I was stressing, why Todd Boehly did what he did. Obviously, you have to show your might, but it really wasn't. It really backfired. It's really backfired because Marina being in place would shut down these rumors by executing these deals, be it outgoings and ingoings. Not to say that's any of their concern to shut down rumors, but these things will be executed very, very effectively. And that's what I believe. I don't believe we'll be in this position if these two were still in charge. And no one can tell me different, but that's what I believe. I believe we would have more rigorous movements in the transfer market. Her contact list it must be absolutely crazy. I would love to have her contact list. The amount of connections she has. Are you telling me she couldn't get something done? What is that? What Boehly was thinking? And even if she was to stay, and even if she is the negotiator, Todd Boehly can still tell her or Peter Cech what he wants, and they would just execute that. He's still the boss. But having those personnel not in place, you allow everyone's opinion. You allow the floodgates to open with everyone's input on what we need and what's going to be there and who's coming in and who got told this and why are you there. You allow a lot of hearsay and nairsays for no reason, because these people are in place in representative to shut these down as well. If you figured the director of football was in place, you think anyone has the time to go and link Todd Boehly and say, what did you have for dinner? Well, talk to my DOF if you can get in touch with her, because she knows how to evade all of this rigmarole. Look at the way they're going out to a whole billionaire. Reporters are clamoring a whole billionaire, asking what you had with dinner with a Barcelona president. Whenever have you seen that? He probably doesn't know how to infiltrate and stay out of the paparazzi's way, or he doesn't know how to make a meeting discreet without the media even knowing. These things. Having the right personnel in place will be able to iron that out. So that's how I feel, and I feel that maybe that is feeding onto the players. It might play a factor. No one's telling them, yo, if you come to Chelsea, you know, like, trust me, I've been here. Trust me, it's good here. You know, you're not, no reassurances. Just a new owner. What do you know? How am I going to, if I was to come to Chelsea, who can reassure me that I'm going to have the best time? It's going to be calm. Who's been here before? Who's been here for a long time that knows? Who can pitch it to me? There's no one. So yeah, it will make me think twice. If another club has all of that in place, if Edu is coming to me and telling me, oh, look, you're going to love it here at Arsenal. Look, oh, look at this. Look, giving me a tour around. Oh, come on, man. You know, it's a no-brainer. So, like I said, we just hope for the best, you know, and this is where we are. We suck it up and we support it. And then we hope for that, you know, we know that Todd Boehly is going to listen to us and they're going to put the best people in place so we don't go through things like this again in future. So that's where we are.
Yeah, and again, thank you very much for that great contribution there. Phantom is suggesting that to make John Terry, I think he needs experience to be able to do that. It's not something.
That's a very good shout. No, that's
a good shout, but I think it's something he needs to have experience.
That's a
Sorry?
good shout.
You need good scouts. That's the main problem.
I did some digging. Yeah.
No. How about some
right?
experience? Is that a requirement or not? Or you could just guys want sentimentals? Or...
No. But he's sentimental because he's saying that after Levi Cole was saying that he wants assurance that he'll be getting game time before even working in the squad. You were saying give him a chance because he could be something special. Yeah, he could be something special, but he needs to work. He can't just come in and demand. Demand is probably not the right word to use.
Who said that?
Do it. Said what?
I thought you were saying I said Levi Cole needs a chance.
No, I'm saying John Terry.
Oh,
John Terry.
Okay.
John Terry already works at the club.
He's already at the club.
If John Terry could be a sporting director, you think they wouldn't put him as a sporting director?
No, he doesn't have the
The guy's a coach.
Because he's a youth coach.
He hasn't got the minerals yet, and I think that you're right. Those sentiments involved, but having him there as maybe some part of an advisory, it helps because he's probably he's the only. Who else is at the club that's known the culture? You know, Peter Cech was there, which was really good.
Are you referring to the ambassador role?
Like some, you know,
ambassador roles, those things do work.
You know,
we got Curichini as ambassador, isn't he?
But I don't think.
Do people remember Curichini?
I don't think it makes sense for Curichini to be there. Use like outfield players.
No, he's been the ambassador for what over 15 years, I think.
No. I know that he's been at the club for a minute. Yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying, he's still there. I thought he departed. with Sarri.
I don't know who would be doing that role at the moment.
You know what I'm trying to say? I
think he's still doing it. I mean, he's not the name that people want. I mean, he's not the all-star.
That's the point. He's not the name I want. I want like Zola.
Yeah, but he knows everything you just said. He knows the club in and out.
I would want Zola. Like, even Cudicini if he's.
But how are you going to get these players? Do you guys not understand? Like people like Zola, Drogba, and all the big names, they're doing bigger things.
Yeah, no, I understand. You know? I understand. If they have the opportunity to, I'm not saying we have to go there. No, you need the best in class. I mean, you can't.
Isn't he Drogba an ambassador?
Drogba's doing his own thing. When Lampard was assembling his backroom staff, everyone thought Drogba was
getting into politics, man.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Drogba's gonna come." No, Drogba's not gonna come. No, we don't need. This ain't bring the bank together. We're not doing that over here. Lampard coming is his own doing. Drogba's turned it down, which I was so happy because he has things to focus on in Africa. Like, what are you doing, mate? Like, that's his job. Not bring the band together. So I'm an advocate of not sentimental things. But if the players are in the club already, like John Terry and Carlo Cudicini, if they've been at the club already, why not give them maybe a promotion to advisory role or something where they can gain experiences and see what they can add if they've been there, if they've been part of the fabric of the success over recent times. Why wouldn't they be there? Like, you know, that's just what I think, but not to go and start. All right, let's call Paulo Ferreira. Let's call all the lads. Let's see if they. No. Let's call. Even I think Makelele is a loan manager. I think he's a loan manager at the club. He deals with players out on loan. So I think we're all right. You know, I don't think we need to do that. But
doesn't he do that for Monaco?
No, I think he left Monaco and he
got him back.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get
back. So
Okay. Let me catch up with the chat quickly. Thank you, IBC, for bringing fire as always. He said, "Hello guys, please help me understand. Is it true that Chelsea is interested in Harry Kane?" I think it's nonsense. I think it's a tweet from Ty. Don't tell me I mispronounced his name again. A tweet from Christian Folks that was misinterpreted. Somebody.
Is it false or false?
Folks. A tweet from him.
That
the Chelsea Twitter journalist, I want to press it that way, or phrase it that way, took and ran with it and started saying we're linked to Harry Kane. I think it's absolute nonsense. And that's a deal, that's one signing that we're never going to get. Except if he leaves on a free. Even if he gets to leave on a free, I don't think he would want to, tarnish all his achievements or, forfeit, again, risk being an enemy of his of Tottenham by joining Chelsea. I don't think it does that. We want, does the manager want him? Even if we want him, if the manager doesn't want him, it doesn't happen. It will not happen. This is Benny John saying we want Cristiano Ronaldo. If nothing else, we have become a laughable stock. Not yet. Marina makes a lot of bad deals. You think so? I don't think so. I think is she perfect? Was she perfect? No, she wasn't perfect. She made some mistakes too. But majority of it, you say, are good. And if you want to bring that argument of how much salaries we're paying players because of how we give those players those salaries based on what we anticipate they'd be able to do. And if those players are fighting on all cylinders, nobody will complain. So if you want to blame anybody, blame the scouts who asked us to go get those players in the first place. I don't know, but it's. I think too many fans, Chelsea fans already believe she's the reason why you will have all the deadwoods at the club, and getting them to think otherwise is very difficult. Todd Boehly said American cuisine is better than Spanish Laporte. I'm not going to go that. Let me just scroll to the very bottom of everything we have there. Again, I think we're about to end the show in a bit. A few stuff I want to share here. Apologies if I missed your contribution in the chat. This is just a delicious tweet from what's his name again? My friend and a brother, Harry. It's a very, very funny tweet. I don't know why it hasn't opened yet. Just give me a second. I think it will open. But while we're at it, I want to get your thoughts. IPC, while I'm with you, what do you think about the club's links to Fofana, who's he's been out injured for a while? I think he's back now. He's contracted to Leicester City until 2027. The transfer fee we're hearing now is around 70 to 80 million. Is he a player you like? Do you think he would do well at our club? And do you think the rumors are just nonsense? Because there's no way to tell if it is the truth. It is the same journalists. There's been, they all have been spilling some rubbish for a while now. The news is coming from them.
Yeah, that's rubbish. We are not getting Wesley Fofana. Leicester are not stupid enough to sell a player they maybe hold the whole season and have him now. He's available for this season. He's now going to go to Leicester. That'll be a waste. We're like, what? That's not going to happen. We need to take it out of our minds. Can you not hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Like, what the hell are we doing? Like Harry Kane. Like, what are we thinking? Like, what? Tottenham are going to sell their striker they've just built around so that they can do well and compete in the Champions League, and they're going to sell it to Chelsea. Yeah. Let's wake up and smell the wood that's burning. I keep saying we don't give ourselves expectations, and we're going to be disappointed. How are we getting Harry Kane? In what window? Is it this window, or is it the one in 10 years' time, or the one that you're going to play on FIFA that you're going to get Harry Kane? When is he coming to Chelsea? When is Fofana going to come? Fofana's not coming to Chelsea. You just forget about it. It's not happening. It's too late.
I have a question for you, IBZ.
Yeah.
Are you aware that Leicester City haven't made any signings?
Yeah.
Do you know why they haven't made any signings?
Because they're trying to recruit. Their finances are not. Then it's not looking.
Exactly. So they have to sell in order to buy, and if they have to sell in order to buy, they have to sell players. And if push comes to shove, it may come to the fact that they may have to sell for fun. I'm not saying it's guaranteed will come, but they have to sell in order.
And I'm saying we ain't got the minerals. Again, back to the tree of the thing. We ain't got the minerals to go and get Wesley Fofana. We ain't got no DOF. We ain't got no people in place to talk to Wesley and tell him, well,
Actually,
Wesley, come from the Midlands. Come from the
we
Midlands.
guarantee that
Leave the
he's
Midlands
the
and come
same
to London.
Fofana he was before he got injured.
God bless you. Or maybe we just had a major injury, and I don't think maybe it will be okay for Leicester. I think it will be, in my opinion, be realistic for Leicester to watch this guy, how he performs, this season at the King Power before they even make a judgment. Like the guy just came up from injury, bro. Like, let's give him a chance on how we're linked to him.
He come back in February.
Pardon, bro.
I thought he came back in February.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. He's had a long time out. You know what I mean. From the beginning of last season, he's had a long time out, and he's back now. So what do you reckon now we're going to go in for him? I don't think Leicester's going to sell, and I don't think we have the minerals to go out there and poach Wesley Fofana, who's on a lot. 2027, his contract ends in like what?
For 70 to 80 million.
For 70, we ain't no. We might as well go for players that are in Europe their teams are willing to sell, or his contract will just exceed. We got the money to do it, but I just don't believe we have the minerals, nor Leicester are prepared to sell. I don't think so. That's one of their best prospects, they got there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Rodrigo, I want you to address this one on the screen. Let's take it one
I
by
believe
one.
I believe we'll have a better chance. I probably believe we have a better chance. On popular opinion, we have a better chance signing in Ndidi. That's my opinion.
So this
Who's Ndidi?
Wilfred. No, I'm not saying we're gonna get him. I'm not saying we're linked to him.
Who is Ndidi?
Wilfred Ndidi. You don't know Ndidi?
He plays for Leicester.
The name sounds familiar.
Wilfred Ndidi.
I think the way the pronunciation is.
He's not worth remembering.
Ndidi.
Oh, okay, maybe that's
Ndidi.
Yeah, the pronunciation was the issue. So go ahead, Rodrigo. I want you to address this one on the screen.
Yeah, I think it's too late now. I mean, what would the director of football do now? As there's only few weeks left. I think we should just write off this summer window, give it to Todd, let Todd learn. I think Todd is probably one of them managers or one of them owners that want to do everything. So he has an idea. So when he employs the DOF won't BS him, because now he has some idea what DOF do. I think for now it's a bit too late. We should aim to have one for the January window and the next summer window. For this one, let's write off. In terms of Fofana, I'm a big fan of Fofana. I think he's one of the best young defenders in the Premier League. He's really, really good. I don't know how he slipped through all these big clubs' radar when he was a centre.
Because he did his ACL.
No, I'm talking about before. How did Leicester snatch him? He played in the same team as Saliba in France. Obviously, Arsenal signed Saliba and Leicester signed him. I don't know how everyone just literally didn't see him. Obviously, now he's done his ACL. I watched him against Chelsea in that game. You remember when we played Leicester toward the end of the season? He looked all right, actually. He looks like their best defender on that day.
But for how much? For 70, 80 million, and after a long-term injury?
Yeah, 70, 80 million is a bit... Yeah, it's too much. It's 80 million pound for a defender. Wow, that is a lot. But then again, that's Leicester.
He's proven he's good enough. He's got the potential, but not
this level.
Exactly. Not yet. Give him maybe 1 year, 2 years.
If we signed it, Leicester are very good. They're not the hardest team to negotiate with, but they know how to get the money out of players. And I think historically we have a good relationship with them. I mean, we signed Drinkwater, Kante, Chilwell at reasonable price. So maybe we try, because their finances are not looking good. They haven't signed anyone. They need money. They need to invest in the team. One more player I would probably take from Leicester is Dewsbury Hall. I love that player. He's a really, really good midfielder. People are sleeping on him. I think I'll take him.
Well, coming from the bus driver, I will slip on him. Ty, you take this one on the screen.
Coach, one more thing I've seen.
I'll return.
Sorry, hold on. Rodrigo, what did you say?
Yeah, there's something that's circulating a lot these days. Is people saying Tuchel talent ID. I didn't even know this was a thing. I just learned.
I didn't know either.
I just learned it recently. People managers talent ID. So what is this? Too many video games, man.
Yeah, that's where everyone gets their knowledge from.
Yeah, Ty, you take this one on the screen.
Emenalo return, it's possible, but it's also not possible because he fell out with the.
Die, you live in a matrix or what? Everything.
No.
And again, if he's to blame, if he's really to blame, if that's on record, he's the one that pointed all those that would, then it's not possible. But go ahead, Ty, finish.
You just took the words out of my mouth. That's why I said it's possible, but also impossible. The thing is, it's possible because maybe he would be open to coming out because he fell out with the people of the past board. Those people have drifted away. So I mean, it's not like he's gonna be working alongside those people that he fell out with. And some people say that he was pushed out for a quote unquote beautiful person to become the director. So because of that, you know what I mean.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you did, but I said some people said that.
I know what I'm saying, and I hope the client and everyone else on the panel understands. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, so because of that, I mean, he also found players that were actually good. People blame him for Deadwood, but if you look at it, the players that he signed them because they looked good at the other club. It's not his fault that they became Deadwood. People only say that, he did it. But people look at Emenalo as a person that, he brought in Deadwood players and that's all he did. He literally found Hazard. He's the reason why we even have an academy right now. Because Roman wanted to shut it down. He was being advised to shut it down. And Emenalo said, no, keep it up because you can find gems yourself in these, youth ranks. So I think people don't look at Emenalo as a person who made mistakes but also did good things. I mean, he's a human being. He's not going to get everything right. Because people want Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards got things wrong too. So it's not like he's just done good for Liverpool. Yes, he's helped Klopp, in terms of getting personalities that would suit his system. And it worked out for him. And even cheap players. But
Michael Edwards has done brilliant.
Yeah, he has. He has, but he's also made. He's also identified a lot of.
Why did that sound like Bobby? Was that IBC?
Yeah, IBC went into Bobby.
Yeah,
I was like, got the interruption. Where'd you hear that?
Bobby there. But
I was scared. I was scared a while ago. So I was worried because I was.
Are you scared of Bobby?
I know why he's scared.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, so because of that, I mean, in that sense, he did good, but at the same time, people look at the man and say, he identified the Bakayokos, the Barclays, the Drinkwater, the Babaramas. People blame him, but those players were actually doing good at the other club. So
he also wanted to get Mourinho sacked, which he did. But I wanted to ask, where did you hear that Abramovich wanted to close down the academy, which he threw a lot of money at?
I did not say that.
You said he was being advised.
Yes,
to shut it down.
He was gonna do it. I said he was being advised, and Emenalo said
no. But let me explain what didn't make sense to me. You said he was being advised to shut it down, but Emenalo convinced him. In my head, I don't think he needed Emenalo to convince him. He threw a lot of money there for one reason, to produce players. He didn't want to buy ready-made players all the time. He only did it at the start to build the brand up. He knew the long-term future this club needed, right, to produce players. He knew that. He's not even an expert. He himself, as a soccer fan, right, football fan, right, he knew that himself, right. And
it was language without you even knowing it.
I have to because from what everyone says soccer here, and when I jump on streams, I have to use football, and it's easy to get it mixed up. But yeah, so for he didn't need Emenalo, right, to convince him. He knew. Even if people were telling him, you're wasting too much money there, or maybe you need to cut back. I can see that one. I can see, hey, maybe not invest so much there and put monies in other areas. Maybe, yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to give Emenalo prompts whether that story is true or not, because before Emenalo even came in, Abramovich was already keen and knew that was the path and invested heavily in that area. That's why that's what didn't make sense to me. That's why I interrupted.
Okay, Ty, go ahead, round off. I want to bring in the Clad in for something else quickly so we can call it a day.
I don't remember what I was. Move on. I don't remember what I was gonna say because I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Coach, I was just gonna say. Let me just leave it now. I'm gonna head off. You guys.
All right, no problem. Again, Ty, was it because Ty, you don't want to complete what you were saying?
I don't remember what I was going to say. I was talking about. I don't remember where I was at. Just move on. Move on, man.
Okay, no problem. I hope that's no issue, right?
No, there's no issue. I just don't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, you lost. Okay, your thoughts. Okay, I understand. Okay, Declan, I have this one for you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Declan. And this is him with James Kounde. So he didn't start today. Dinner is always his thing. So go ahead. Your thoughts on that? Just a good one to round off with. It's not really a question, but I know you get that.
The guy loves his food, so it's good. I mean, who doesn't like food? Are you gonna tell me you don't like dinners as well?
Yeah, I mean for a meal.
I mean, just because it was hard to catch Abramovich eating meals. I mean, the way I used to think Abramovich used to have his meal was, I think Abramovich used to eat off naked models and stuff like that. That's how I used to imagine he had his dinners. At least Boehly is out in the public and can catch pictures of his dinners all the time.
It's like this.
All right, Ty, I have this one. Ty, I have this one for you. Rodrigo, you were saying something?
I feel like he wants to be like, he's so flamboyant, like this guy. He just want to be a rock star or something.
Yeah.
He is,
Ty, I don't know this player too well. Do you know him? Can you tell us about him?
Yes, and Tuchel did not like him.
Tuchel don't like him.
Yeah, Tuchel never liked using him. It's like your new Kurosawa. He was not really a fan. He wasn't really a fan. So I mean, I think what's that guy's name? These players have names that it's so difficult to pronounce. Millionaire, I don't remember his name. He was a right back. He came and he used him as a sub.
Belgium. Was it Belgium?
Yeah.
Yeah, Meunier.
Yeah. So those were the players that he was more keen to compared to, and even he didn't play much games. He used to come off the bench a lot, and I mean he would add a lot of goals too because he was a player that had a lot of mistakes in him, so he started to go down the pecking order. If he does play, it will just be a last resort if it was not possible to play on anybody else, and that is why PSG is probably trying to offload him because they've brought in that new guy whose name I can also not pronounce.
Mukiele? Oh, no, Mukiele.
Mukiele.
Okay,
oh my lord.
Okay, just go ahead. Mukiele.
Let's move on. The guy from RB Leipzig, the right back from RB Leipzig.
Mukiele, yeah.
They already have Hakimi and they have him, and then they have the new guy now. So they need to offload because they don't want to have too much players. So them offering him to us, I'm not surprised that we were not keen because he's not a player that was really.
They can offer us Neymar.
Sorry?
They can offer us Neymar.
Oh yeah, that would be just a dream. Because he said that he wants
to. But I'm just kidding anyway. But I don't think we want Neymar. Ty, while I'm with you, your thoughts on everything we talked about today.
It was an interesting stream. I mean, I guess I was trying to be 50-50 about everything. Tomori, I'm not happy. I'm not unhappy. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I will never forget that one.
I'm very unhappy.
You're in purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he's gonna get an extension with AC Milan. Good for him. It benefits his career, so I'm happy for him because he's a player that has great potential. So if he can make it there, then that's fantastic for him. I mean, Fofana, the price tag, like I said yesterday, is not one that I'm fond of. But hey, I'm going to advertise this again. 40 million plus the greatest and the most excellent left back and centre back. Even Sterling doesn't know what he is. That's how good he is. Because Sterling didn't even know what position he plays. Malang Sarr, the best and excellent left back and centre back. Malang Sarr,
what are you?
With 40 million. Yeah, are you a left back or a centre back? I'm a left centre back. Oh, you're a centre back. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's how excellent he is. That player.
Oh my goodness, Rodrigo, your thoughts on everything we talked about today. As for me, I'm happy and I'm also unhappy. But Rodrigo, you just tell me your thoughts on everything we talked.
Do you know what blame why we're not getting players? Is you, coach. You are to blame. You're the jinx. Look what you're doing. Look at the background you have on the screen. Why would you do this? Never. You haven't learned. Never Photoshop the players in a Chelsea kit until they're signed. You're jinxing us. Every time you do this, we don't sign the players.
That's why he left Dumfries out.
Oh, yeah.
And probably the most likely to come first. Oh, my God,
if you know coach wants a player, it's the one without the Chelsea top.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rodrigo, please.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm still waiting for my other centre back. I was begging for one. They gave me Koulibaly, thank you, but I need another one, and I need a wing back to compete with Reece James. So maybe Dumfries, and the good news is it looks like Werner is about to go. And he's actually negotiating a deal with Leipzig or Juve. So good luck to him. And he'll be if Werner goes to the Serie A and scores 20 goals, that league is finished. That league is gone. No one can tell me anything about Serie A. That's because we see how bad Werner is, and if he goes there and scores 20, wow, be a big surprise. So yeah, I'm just watching this space and see who comes in. I've already given up on hoping for players, all these links, and I'm just feeling like they're just toying with us at this moment.
Again, I just want to say, Di Maria didn't he leave PSG on a free?
Yeah, but he was 30. Di Maria's like 34. Come on.
But he's experienced. Again, we don't have experience up front.
He's still playing great, man.
He's a good age for Serie A.
Hey, I'll take him to Chelsea.
I would have taken him.
He's not playing like a 35-year-old.
Do you think he want to come back to England again? His wife hated it here.
Yeah, but hated Manchester. London is a whole different story, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. But maybe they don't see a difference. Like, we don't want to go back there.
Yeah. Again, Declan, to you, your thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Yeah, the merry-go-round spins again. Some new players that have come up. Today's draw the hats.
When the old links fade away, new ones pop up.
Dumfries, yeah. So they're the winners today. I look forward to the winners tomorrow, I guess.
Declan, are you going to say the P word today? Are you going to say the P words today? I can't hear that.
Nah.
Okay.
No P word today.
Good, Declan.
Actually, one topic we didn't talk about, or I might have missed out on, is the Werner one. Werner is the latest one. His name's being thrown to make way for deals, and
we predicted, I think he's fallen out with Thomas Tuchel.
It's not about falling out. It's about knowing that you can't, or you probably can't fit in the system. You probably deserve game time. We all said World Cup as well is a factor for a lot of players and a lot of moves that happen. People want to play. I mean, the players most of all want to play. Some players like Bale can have that drive, and once they made it to Real Madrid, then after a while can just sit on the bench and cash in their money. Can do that, but a lot of players don't want to sit on the bench and just collect paychecks. A lot of them want to play, and players like Ziyech and Werner in their peak feel like they're missing out. So they're the two culprits that want to leave, just for playing time. And it's given enough chance. 18 months with Tuchel, you probably get a good idea where your stance is. So I think Werner's a big one. If we can get Werner off the books as well, he gets in. He takes a big chunk of that wage, which is big. I think getting him off can make a lot of room for a big player. So if that happens, we might see a big name. Another name was Zaha that I heard too, which was kind of interesting. So if we manage to get Werner off the book, we're going to be linked with every attacker, more so than we already have.
Oh, and Zaha would be a better replacement.
Look, Chris Wood would be a better replacement for Werner. So I mean the bar's not high for replacing Werner. He's our third highest paid player, and he's one of our worst players. So that would be to me that would be a big transfer, getting Werner off the books for me.
That's the Lukaku one, isn't it?
Yeah, people say we've only got 2 transfers. No, I count Lukaku as a transfer. That's a big move, and getting Werner off too, massive move as well.
Yeah, again, with that, I want to say thank you to all the people in the panel. If you're looking now, you can see their Twitter handles. Let me make sure you see it. Please go and follow them. Again, be sure you can follow. Also, do follow Chelsea's Perspective Twitter. Follow the Clads on Twitter. Follow Ty Talks on Twitter, and also check Ty Talks YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Also follow Rodrigo. Let him know I sent you to on Twitter. Again, follow him and to support him because they don't earn anything from this. Again, they do it for the passion for the club. 3-hour stream. Yes, it's always been 3 hours. And again, I found it difficult to reduce that time. Maybe when the transfer window closes, that will happen. Again, it says Dumfries, Kane, Skriniar. I'm not sure. I think Skriniar, I'm hearing they're trying to offer him a new contract, third highest paid player. Yes, that's the truth. Yeah, but Di Maria was a free agent before that. I think we should have went for him, but for some reason, again, here's the link to Tytex YouTube channel. Please go check it out and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for the stream. Thanks to you to the breach. I appreciate you finding time to join. I want to say thank you to the Queen of the House, Josh Viola. Thank you to Chelsea Fans Club. Thank you to Tytex. Thank you to the Breach CFC. Thank you to Ike IC. Thank you to this brother right here. Also, thank you to Chelsea all the way, every other person that was in the chat. Thank you to Phantom of many topics here. Be sure to go check out his channel. Also, do subscribe and let him know I sent you. Again, I hope if something comes up, there will be an evening show. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning Show. Thank you so much. God bless us all, and bye.